Hello, everyone, and welcome to CMSA Esports Season 17 Ruby Invitational. Tonight, we're celebrating the conclusion of our 17th season, and we have got 10 players voted on by the community that will take to the Rift and a best of three showcase match tonight. The last 2 weeks for the invitationals have been bangers. They've gone the distance for 3 games. We're hoping for a repeat of drama tonight. As always, I'm not going to do this alone, and I'm pleased to announce my co-host for the evening, Gunny Hartman. Welcome.
Sam, so nice to be here with you. Like you said, we've got some fantastic showdown tonight for our Ruby teams here. This is Season 17 Invitationals. And if you're new to the Invitationals, the format is very simple. You, the loving fans, the audience, the members of the Ruby League have voted these 10 players into this showdown match. We're going to play 3 games tonight, regardless of what happens, but we have gone to the decisive game 3 in the first 2 matches in the invitationals this season. So I'm excited to see if we can get there. A couple other agenda items here. For the people voted into these games, they are locked to the positions that they were voted for. So everybody in our league usually locks in 2 different positions when they're playing in CMSA, but they have been locked to the lane that they have first selected here. And boy, do we have a great matchup between these 2 teams today, Sam. You want to give us a rundown of who we're going to see today?
Absolutely. So the 2 teams we've got taken to the Rift, we have on one side of the blue team will be Italian Nasus Cooks for You. And they'll be taking on the B-Said Aurochs Jet Shot Mark IV. We'll probably shorten those up through the night. We'll see how it goes. On the side of the Italian Nasus Cooks for You, in the top lane, we've got Blaine, the star. In jungle, we have Dr. Fox making a debut there. In other invitationals, they've been on the AD carry position. In the mid lane, we have Rook. AD carry for the Italian Nasus is Sage. And for support, we've got Soup, Pinky Farts, or Sir Thrungle on the top side of Italian Nasus Cooks for You. Against them on the Rift, in the top side, we've got Sour Sam, who is no stranger to the Invitational. And we also have Zangy, once again, the chef there coming out of the jungle. In the mid lane, we have Firefly. In the AD carry position, a debut here, Jonathan. And supporting them is going to be Pinty. Whew. I'm so
Oh,
excited to watch some of these players. We've got some new, brand new to the Invitational, and then some veterans. It's going to be a great night.
yeah, so exciting getting new faces in. I said this about the Pearl Invitational last week, but people new to the league immediately being voted into these show matches. And the whole point of these show matches is to pick the matchups that you want to see in these different lanes. These are people that you've enjoyed playing with. Maybe you like the diversity of their picks. Maybe you like the specialization of their picks. But regardless, these are the people that the Ruby League wanted to see showdown in this game. And boy, do we have a lot of great matchups here. We will be playing on Fearless Draft too. So, unlike our regular weeks, the Fearless Draft is going to add in a bit more complexity to the draft game where once a champion is picked, you're not going to see that champion again for the rest of the night.
And with so many new faces, we also have some like returning classics. And one of the things I really want to highlight in this is we've got Zangy in the jungle and Blaine or the star across the rift from them. These two have met in seemingly so many different invitationals, and it is just once again they get to take it on. They know each other inside and out. They know how one another plays, and so with, as you say, to that, with this fearless draft format, there's some things that you can do here with in regards to picking champions or picking away champions or banning champions. So I'm expecting a lot of interesting things to come out of these. Just watching these 2 teams draft.
Yeah, just in those 2 players there, we see that they're not alone, just like us here spectating, shoutcasting this game. They've brought their partner in crime with them. So we finally get to see Zangy. I'm not entirely sure, but this might be the first invitational that Zangy and Sour Sam are put together. Likewise, the star Blaine playing alongside Dr. Fox, somebody that they've played with for a while now. It's going to be great to see this combination of people and I think we have everybody loading in getting ready for Champ Select soon. And as we get there, we'll run down some of what we think are going to be the pick bands, and it looks like we're just getting in there now to start the initial band phase.
As we load in, for everyone watching, thank you so much for tuning in. I do want to do a quick shout out to who we are as an organization. You've heard CMSA mentioned a few times. That stands for Chicago Metropolitan Sports Association. We're the largest LGBTQ plus esports organization in the Midwest. And in 2018, a long time ago now, we expanded to include esports. So we've got not just League of Legends, Fortnite, Overwatch, Dead by Daylight, Dungeons and Dragons. So if you're interested in playing some games in a lighthearted and competitive environment and maybe one day being streamed like we're doing tonight, please register for the Discord, find us on CMSA Esports on the web, and come and play with us.
Yeah, go right to cmsaesports.com. If you're getting hyped to play some League of Legends, you're here watching it now. Get ready because season 18 will be upon us. Wow, that's crazy. Season 18 will be upon us already here soon. So watch for that to drop on the website as we look into this draft now. Very interesting. We had talked a little bit before stream here on what these teams might do in the Fearless draft, and one of those contested picks has got to be Zangi's J4, and we see it banned out immediately from the side of Italian Assus Cooks for you.
So many, it feels like must-have bands, and you see him come out with that. I love the Jarvan targeting one of the two partners in crime in Zangi, and then the Garen targeting Sour Sam right away, and then of course Firefly on Assassins, definitely worthy of some bans. But Firefly, he's got so many different sort of assassin, very big picks that he can play. So I think both definitely Italian Asses just taking away those comfort picks right away as they lock in first pick Nautilus here for Pinky Soup. So wanting to play something with a hook after the Thresh gets banned, and answered by Karma Jin, which they definitely knew that they were leaving that open for Jonathan.
That is a tough one. Jonathan Dripper here, second in turret takes in the league. And we're talking about over 70 turret takes across a 21 game span in this league. That is over 3 turrets a game. And that Jin is such a comfort pick. Now, one thing we didn't see in this Fearless format is the Jarvan was available to first pick from the side of Italian Nasus Cooks for you. Had they done that, Jarvan's off the board there for the rest of the night, but they opted to go for the ban, and that might lock them into having to ban this for the rest of the night as we see Corki come through, rounding off most likely that bot lane, although flex picks available in both the Corki and the Karma coming out for the side of Besaid Oryx.
Two very different bot lanes here. You have a Corki Nautilus that Corki just wants to stat check you in skirmish all the time. Jin and Karma, though, are able to just poke you and opt out of fights really easily. So, but don't discount Pinky is able to find those hooks, especially with that big ol' anchor that he'll be heaving on Nautilus. So it's really a can Jin Karma do what they want to do, play safe, push in, pressure plates, take turrets, but also avoid that Nautilus Corki. And look at this, more comfort picks coming down for the Besaid Aurochs, and it is an Akali for Firefly.
Oh, Firefly on Akali is so much fun to watch. So many great combinations. I'm excited to be able to call this out. And I think that starts to nail down the Karma most likely in the support role here. Most likely going to be Pinty pulling that up, like you said, for that disengage with the Jin. It might be on Firefly now to pick when they go into team fights, as once you commit as Akali, you have the Shroud to get away, but not quite the options to poke from afar like the Jin Karma. And on the flip side, Lilia, Nautilus, they're able to jump right on top of you. This to me screams a Merc Treads game if I have this against me.
So the tier 2 bans came out, and you saw a lot of target here in terms of what's available. Akali was picked up, which means they don't want to see a Galio in that mid lane, so a great ban there. Both sides taking some easy to play and big team impact ults off the table as well with the Shen and the Malphite ban. And then they'll pick up Trundle here for that. It could be jungle, but most likely top. Well, is it a top lane? It's always interesting to see if you want to hold your top lane as a counter pick. So maybe holding that flex here as it comes out.
Yeah, it could be a flex. I could very easily see that slotted in for Zangy onto the Trundle. Not quite the comfort pick in the Jarvan, but these players know each other so well after playing weeks and weeks together, or for some of these players, years together. You still see a Diana ban coming through, and we hadn't even
Yeah.
talked about it yet, but Blaine the Star Johnson pulls out the Gangplank, their signature champion in game one.
I'm so excited. All these, like, we got 3 signature champions here just in game 1. Let the stars fly. Cannot wait to see this.
Yeah, and I think this is a comfort pick too. I would say Lilia for Dr. Fox, I think is one of their top junglers. Maybe the chat would be able to help me out with this one. But remember, now that these champions are locked in, this is our one shot to see them tonight as we hover over the Cho'Gath here. Is that the end? I think that might be the end of the draft there.
Believe so. So, barring some last minute miscommunication, it looks like a Cho'Gath taking on this Gangplank in the top lane. You called out the chat. I want to know what players are you most interested in watching, and what side do you think is going to win here in game number 1? Italian Nasus cooks for you, preparing to defend blue side against the B-Said Aurochs Jet Shot Mark IV.
Yeah, maybe we can get a poll started in here. We'll get our support people, the owner of the league running this, John, maybe get a poll started in the chat for us. And while we're on that topic, let's shout out a few more people making this happen. Sam and I, of course, going to be with you for all 3 games tonight. But behind the scenes, we have our main man, Kelton, on camera. Kelton, are you ready to say hi at all here? We'll give him a moment here.
Yeah, I'll be there in just a moment.
As Kelton preps for this game here, also, we've been running everything through our website tonight. Shout out to Vibros for getting this website. Every time we go to run any of these invitational games, we find more and more hidden secrets and hidden gems, including all the stats that you can see. If you want to jump into any of our leagues, head over to cmsaesports.com and you'll find the plethora of information on all the stats from every game, every matchup that happened. For League of Legends, there's links to op.gg, and you can meet up with your friends on Discord. Such a lovely setup that we have. So fortunate to be able to play in a league that's so loving here. But again, we'll have Kung Pao behind the scenes running the cameras, which is, I can tell you from experience, not the easiest thing to do mid-game.
Yeah, I figured I would come in and say hi, y'all. I figured out how the website works and how to set up the overlay, so I'm like, okay, well, now I'm going to join and say hi. But yeah, figured I would just come in here, show off my glass of wine, and then go back to my dungeon where I run the cameras secretly in the background.
And if we get to a decisive game 3, we will let Kelton out for a few days to roam around and graze.
I'm a free range Kelton.
Free range cameraman. Out and about. All right. Teams are now getting set up a little bit. We're running this Fearless Draft kind of third party here. So as we settle in, again, super excited. Game 1 here of 3 games. We're already getting an Akali pick. We're already getting Chin for Dripper. But options to shut both of those champs are there in a Nautilus getting a free ultimate, a Lilia potentially getting a multi-person stun. What are you seeing in these matchups, Sams? What should we in the audience be looking for in pulling out a game 1 victory?
I feel like there's 2 sides of this rift. We already talked a lot about the kind of 2 duos that are on the top half of the map. Both of these top laners and junglers play with each other a lot, know each other's tendencies, and so there's a lot of dynamic things that are going to happen up there. But I'm actually more interested in what's going to happen across the rift here, because we've got we've got 3 brand new names to the Invitational down there, and one of them right now on a signature champion. The rest, though, very, very solid. And so I've not gotten the opportunity to see a lot of them play this season, and so I cannot. But just looking at their stats, I think it's going to be explosive. The lanes that have been drafted, very volatile. It's got one side that wants to keep it under control, and the other side want to make sure that things are shaken up as much as possible. So I would not be surprised to see lots of Roman coming around from the bot lane and just mixing things up down there.
You're right. Cross map play too available with the Gangplank. Different from those solo queue games you play all the time. These are 5 people who play together consistently. They're sitting upright for the invitationals. They're ready to play. So I expect comms to be pretty well on point with those Gangplank ultimates. Potentially thwarting deep dives if the Akali or Trundle decide to go in somewhere, or maybe even just cleaning up a kill here and there and turning around what would be a 1-for-nothing trade.
I was gonna
There's
say,
a
as a
lot
Trundle
of
main,
options.
you think a Gangplank ult is gonna deter me from diving you under the turret? No, it's not. It's gonna be a minor inconvenience on my frozen domain.
Subjugate available, of course, for Trundle, but not a lot of good targets outside of the Nautilus support to ultimate here. And shout outs, it looks like one of our players here, Blaine, is cheering for Pinky Farts, their own teammate, in the chat here. Thanks for the noise. And 5 subs gifted from Highlight. Highlight, of course, playing in last week's Pearl Invitational. So happy to see everybody showing up. And one last call out to the chat. It looks like Lad himself has reminded us that I don't think Zangy has had a win in the Invitationals, despite being here basically since the inception.
Some stats are lost to history. That might be one of them.
No need to go back and look. This is a for fun, competitive light showdown as we drag our friend Zangy towards game 1.
The curse will be broken tonight. I'm feeling it.
Been called out, the Zangy curse, up and alive. But again, Zangy and Sour Sam very rarely get to play together. If you haven't played in one of the CMSA League of Legends seasons yet, every single week we do a draft for the teams. So we have a collection of drafters that go through a snake draft to select teams. So very often teams vary quite a bit from week to week. And if you have 4 teams or 6 teams or 8 teams, you often don't get to play with the same regular group on Tuesdays. So it's so nice to get these players together in the invitationals who probably play together off stream on every other day of the week, finally get to show off their skills together, and we get to see what kind of advantages they have with those tight comms.
We've managed to make it to the loading screen. A quick look at these skins as we prepare. Ooh, I love the Empyrean line. Empyrean Jin, one of the most intimidating, I think. I cannot wait to see Dripper Sage here, or Jonathan on that.
I think this is a straight shout out here. Blaine happens to know that Thaler Gangplank is in fact my favorite Gangplank skin. So pandering to the judges, perhaps, happening early on from the side of Italian Nasus Cooks for You. And INCFY are gonna look for those ultimates early on. I don't think they necessarily need to be overly aggressive in this matchup, but perhaps wait for those good, decisive team fights later on.
All right, I'm gonna go on mute. Enjoy the game, y'all.
Just now load into the game here. What we normally see in these invitationals is game 1, teams tend to feel each other out and get that 5-point spread, but maybe Ruby will be the league to change that fate.
you say as they fan out immediately. The one thing that will be happening though is it looks like Pinky and Sage heading into the bot lane rush right away to try to make sure that they have full control of that. Especially with the shorter range down here, you do not want to let your longer range opponents like get that early push. And if you can take a quick trade level 1 to chunk some HP and just keep that lane volatile, that is what they want to do. So they've moved up into that far brush looking for an early fight or an early catch of the wave.
Yeah, absolutely. And to call out our biases here in the Shoutcaster's booth, Sam VC, of course, notorious AD carry in the bot lane, so I expect all the insights from you. Gunny Hartman, though, is a jungler, and we can see the jungler setting up on opposite sides of the map here. We're going to go bottom lane up to top lane is Dr. Fox, the opposite coming for Chef Zangy, looking to run the trundle from red buff down to blue buff. I'll keep an eye on their movements, but still sitting in this very front brush. Pinky and Emo Loser. Will they find a hook here? Dripper walking into the wave so carefully. Pinty doing the same thing. Here comes Pinky out of the brush.
Well, it's going to start it right away. One stun landed, but Pinky losing a lot of HP. But luckily, it is the 80 carry. You'll take that trade all day, so it's going to buy Sage some breathing room here on Corki to try to push out, get to that level 3 spike so they can really start fighting.
Yeah, what can I if I were to guess, I would say Nautilus is probably the only champion who at level 1 starts with 2 stuns available in both the hook. But we see the Star going early, getting the level 2. A barrel comes through, a second barrel damaging. Flash for flash as the passive, and that is no ignite available, but gets the first blood up top. Blaine, of course, on this Gangplank is running TP and Comet, but just enough with that passive damage to get it through there for a first blood, and that's tough in this matchup now, what is essentially range versus melee.
Yes, that is what you want when you pick a signature champion like that. Playing just showcasing what Gangplank can do 1v1, even putting that barrel down, just throwing it out there, predicting and just going flash for flash. This is and with Lilia now pathing up towards this, a flashless top laner pushing out. You're chopping at the bit here as jungle.
always. But Sour Sam, the consummate professional, immediately TPing back up to the top lane, not really missing out too much on CS despite giving up the first blood. Has a chance to back. I don't think had enough gold for any items there. But we see a reverse on the map here as Pinky Soup going in here on Dripper. Gets a lot of damage through the double stun. Procking, Emo Loser jumping forward. We have a big Gatling gun getting Dripper low. Flash for flash, but not enough to drop Dripper. And a lot of summoners used in the bot lane.
But watch, they want to push this out and change. And here's the Chef Zangy coming. The root lands from this 1 HP. Jonathan Dripper, Emo Loser does not have a flash, cannot get away. Pinty, the support, will be the one to pick it up. And now Pinky trying to go in for one. I think hit the ignite there and is going to at least trade their life for the life of the 80 carry.
Oh, Chef Zangy says Nat's not the only cook in the kitchen tonight. Flies in there, and we talked about getting the Lilia up to the top lane, but nothing doing right now. Zangy instead getting the return kill down bot lane, and 2-2, we're fighting for potential upgraded boots with one more kill getting a feat.
Sour Sam looking for revenge in the top lane as a gank arrives in the mid lane as well. It's been forced Aurora out. The Star so low up here in the top lane.
Eats one eruption, but
Fox now arriving. And now Sour Sam trying to run. I love just watching Aurora here in the mid lane trying to stay alive as well on the minimap. But Dr. Fox is here, going to bring down Sour Sam. And that claims the Boots of Warfare. Look at the bot lane exploding as well. Gatling gun onto Dripper. Going to follow up, and that's just a stat check. You cannot face 2 at once here. Oh, good flash from Aurora there. Firefly gets taken all the way into tower. Everything goes right for Italian Nasus Cooks.
I had CFY popping off here in the early game. Rook, fantastic flash, finishing up the kills both in the bot lane and the earlier kill from the top lane. And yeah, all things coming up blue side as they take over feet, take 2 more kills on top of that. But in this game of League of Legends this season now, getting those objectives are a big point. And feet goes down first to blue side, but 2 more feet opportunities to take over the upgraded boots still on the board, both in turrets and objectives, as Dragon is now up on the bot side. Lilia with first movement there, going for vision. No, doesn't want vision, wants to get Firefly, gets a little bit damaged through. There's a 4v6 leveling here, and with Shroud, Firefly is able to walk out. No TP available, but no TP available for the side of Aurora as the damage continues in the top lane. Star unrelenting here as Blaine has the level advantage at 6-4 over Chef Zangy. Eats one eruption here, a lot of damage coming through, and it's too early to get an ult stack for the Cho'Gath, but will go down is the Gangplank as the fighting continues in the mid lane.
A counterpunch arrives here, and now Dripper has moved up, giving Firefly a kill onto this jungler. But look who's here, Pinty, gonna go ahead and root this Aurora, getting a little bit of HP down. What a sequence here this time as the B-Set Aurochs get back. And I wanted to point out, as Blaine went into that bush, he did channel the TP in a last-ditch attempt to get out. Sour Sam, though, got that rupture and knocked him out of it. So no TP available for Blaine.
Such a tough ability nowadays. You don't get that instant channel you used to. You get the slow motion channel. So the escapes are not quite as available as they once were, as Aurora maybe making their way out of here. Chef Zangy going to put a little damage through. But ultimately just trying to buy some time for Firefly to back here. And that nets potentially first Dragon over to the side of INCFY as they do this on Vision. Fantastic camera work here from our cameraman, not to be understated. Lilia at level 4. Dr. Fox will take this Dragon, and that's against Zangy, who's very well known for good Dragon takes. In fact, Zangy is towards the top of the leaderboard for this season in Dragon takes. But will
it's a huge win for Dr. Fox to be able to find the first neutral objective and win and take that away from the Aurochs, because as you said, Zangy is so masterful at making sure that that is locked down for his team. So just the fact that Dr. Fox was able to see that, recognize it, and take it, but Chef Zangy will not let it go uncontested. Decides to try to find Star across the map yet again. Flash used, you got a long river to run down and no help to come. Blaine trying to run out. The knockup gonna land, and another kill goes on to, or the first for Sour Sam, another death for Blaine, and that gives the Aurochs and Zangy the opportunity to start up this Rift Scuttles here.
And rotating Karma up here, Pinty very wisely, still level 4, moves up here to most likely secure 2, if not 3 of these grubs. Great movement out of Chef Zangy, and perhaps this was the point of the comp from the side of the Beset Oryx. Maybe they said, you know, at some point tonight, Blaine is gonna get the Gangplank. Maybe give it game 1 and give him nothing to use remove Scurvy on. It doesn't work for knockups, so Sour Sam lands an eruption, and Blaine is just stuck there with Gangplank. Same with Pillar. You hit the slow, nothing to remove Scurvy on, no hard CC at that point, and you saw it happen in that long lane. But 6-5 still advantage for the side of Italianasis. Cooks for you as we look potentially for first tower to be a very decisive objective for these upgraded boots in Feats of War.
Couple boots landed here on this quirky Sage trying to get away. It does have Valkyrie available, so we'll dodge the curtain call. But Chef Zangy is here.
Zangy always ready.
Pillar available. Flash has to use across that. Pinky just trying to body block. Great Karma, Inner Flame, but it's not enough damage. Another root lands. Chef Zangy and the team trying to close, but wait. There's a hook under the turret, and who is winning? It's Dr. Fox on the counter gank. One falls, and now Dr. Fox is here chasing down Pinty. You are going to sleep with a lilting lullaby, Karma, trying to run out, but now Firefly and Aurora both roaming down. It has turned into a huge 4v4 here. Firefly trying to go on to Emo Loser, but it's not enough. And now both teams can breathe as they are away. So after all that, it ends up in the favor of Italianasis Cooks.
Oh, we start with a 5-man fan out at the beginning of the game, but everything after that is battle after battle, and it's hard to call out every single piece of macro in these fights, but little things like Lilia buffering, the stun there from Karma, even the level 6 play, if we go back to early in the game, everybody here knowing their champion so well, ready to fight when they have a level advantage. That's the stuff I love to see out of our Ruby competitors here, as the game still stands pretty even gold here, 7.7, maybe only a 0.4k advantage from the side of Italian Nasus Cooks for you, and Besaid Oryx will potentially look for control over this dragon here. I feel like that's a big deal for them to not go down another dragon and potentially lose feats on 3 neutral objectives. We'll see as they walk there, but forcing the flash out of the Corki, notoriously safe champion with Valkyrie available. Perfect timing from Zangy. 6 cents on when to gank.
As you said, I do think this dragon's going to be really important. I'm sure that both these junglers are going to be looking. They're kind of eyeing this mid lane now, but the next dragon, I think it's going to be really important. The last neutral, the ults weren't available, and now that the ultimates are here, how are the teams going to orchestrate them? As Dr. Fox and Chef Zangy is like, no, you don't get to do that right in front of me. we're gonna have to do something about this.
This is a shared jungle now. The Star coming in there, putting a lot of damage through Sour Sam. Going to try to get an eruption on the back end. Will get a stack off of that, as we do see Blaine go down here, but the fight continues. Firefly going deep under turret here, gonna look for Rook, won't get it. Sour Sam dropping low. Dr. Fox pushing in on the Lily, and the Deer is able to sprint out of there, getting one on the back end here. It is gonna look for more.
Firefly so nimble on this Akali, knows every trick to try and escape, but Lilia is just too fast. Move speed checked here as Dr. Fox gets 2.
I was about to compliment everybody for saving ultimates and flashes for this dragon, and then we see a massive fight go down on the top side. So now looking across the board, Flash is available for no one on the side of Besaid Oryx. But Flash slowly coming up here, potentially Emo loser getting it. Blaine has it. Chef Zangy dropping low while this dragon is up. Blaine might be able to run him down here. Passive damage with the auto goes through, and we see a Q pickup as one barrel separates him from Pinty and Dripper. Firefly not seeing the opportunity to go in, does not have ultimate available after the fight on the top side, and maybe this is opportunity to look for this dragon here. But
a great teleport for Blaine, because because Dr. Fox had just gotten picked off by Zangy, and so the junglers have just traded. So now that they're both up, they're going to run down and do it again, but no teleport here available for the Star, and it's a little bit more on Sour Sam to come up, so it might just be another big 4v4 over this upcoming dragon.
Yeah, no teleport, no ultimate right now, but will have it up in the next 40 seconds or so. Same for Sour Sam. That's a double smite available as one Chef Zangy slightly caught out here. Peeking the Soup, dredge lining you in, will knock you up with the ultimate, but does have to disengage as 4 members of the side of Besaid Oryx do rotate. They want this dragon, but don't quite have the entry now until Trundle can find a little bit more health from this jungle.
Yeah, there's no fight without a clean pick, and they think they have found it onto the jungler here of Italian Nasus, and now it's a full send. Chef Zangy trying to run down a second kill, but content to just push them off and start up this dragon to try to notch it at 1 apiece. Great patience there. Zangy gets a little low, goes in the jungle, comes back, ready to play.
Yeah, shoutouts early to Kelton. Kung Pao, our cameraman, as he called Subjugate. Does not matter. I'll continue to chase you. Doesn't get the second kill on the back end of Zangy, but ready to fight through this dragon. Smite not available right now, but does get it through Jin. Jin takes it down. Chef Zangy will die on the front end, but Pinky also dropping low as we see flying in is Firefly. Firefly will drop in a 2-for-1 situation now, but Dragon going over to the side of Besaid Oryx, and they're okay walking away at this point, knotting up those objectives towards the second feet.
I don't know if Italian Nasus knew there was no smite available, or if they were just wanting to fight that, but props to Italian Nasus Cooks. They just said, we don't need our jungler. We want to win a fight at Dragon, and we're going to do it.
Oh, Zangy and I have been playing together too much, I guess. That is what I do as a jungler. Walk in there without smite available because I just used it in the team fight. But maybe knowing, I don't know if that was a force shot or not, but it might have been, and this could be first tower going over to INCFY, and it is.
Carry that over, and it seems like nothing comes without a fight here. So I'm gonna get ready for another one, as now the Aurochs know about this Rift Herald that's been started up. Pinky looking for that dredge line. Has an assassin right there, but the numbers are on the side of the Aurochs, who are starting to collapse on this Rift Herald. But the Italian Nassets do not want to give this up without a fight. The Star, a little bit too deep, gets chomped on by Sour Sam. And now it is just hoping for a lucky steal. Can't find it. Dr. Fox forced to flash, but Firefly is in to match. And will pick Dr. Fox up, trying to find another one. Pinky, you're tanky on that Nautilus, but not tanky enough. And this time, the Beset Aurochs will take it cleanly.
Yeah, once we get past 6 here, the double smite options from Cho'Gath and Zangy is so strong. Zangy having smite available for that Rift Herald, and we're starting to see them take control over the objectives. So it's kind of what we expected to see out of the matchup a little bit, but on the backside, Rook in the mid lane getting one turret there says, why don't I walk down bot lane and take another one? As a second turret dropping. Meanwhile, on the flip side, we have the Beset Oryx using that Rift Herald top, going deep once more is the Cho'Gath. Little do they know, Blaine is sitting in the bush with a barrel, won't find an opportunity to hit Sour Sam, but will be able to clear the wave for the next run here. And this is where vision control starts to matter, as we see Beset Oryx pushing vision deep into the blue side territory with not a lot of vision available from the side of INCFY now.
Pinky, though, has managed to punish that lack of vision and gets all the way onto Firefly. Actually will drop this depth charge here, trying to lock it up. Aurora can follow that, and they will take down Firefly, who thought for sure they were safe, but no can do against this Nautilus with so much CC available.
Oh, you look at that dark map, you think you're fine, but then Dredge Line comes in, Depth Charge starts walking at you, and Staggering Blow with another stun. This is a 3-stun available support in Pinky, and that is a deadly combination. I don't think we're going to have a further push here, but again, you can see this oppressive red side vision on the top half of the map, despite being shoved in. And I think I talked about it a little bit last week at the Pearl Invitational, but vision control is not just about who you see, it's also about who do I not see. And with so much vision in the jungle of Dr. Fox right now, he might be pretty trackable for Zangy and the Beset Oryx crew, the Blitzball team here, as they move silently on the bot side, though. No vision for either squad really pushing into the bot side.
Before we get this dragon up, taking a quick look at the items. You see one of the biggest spikes available here with Sage. Has Trinity Force and is rapidly trying to stack that Muramana up before this next dragon fight. That's a big power spike for a Corki who loves this point in the game being on 2 items. Look for that. Look for Sage to be very impactful coming into the next fight. Chef Zangy doesn't want to make it an even fight, though. Trying to come on the gank against this Aurora. Rook forced to flash away, keeping their life, though. Can be ready for this dragon.
That's a good takeaway of the flash there from Aurora. They're sitting on a bounty worth 450 at this point. 3-0 and 2 is Rook. Rook in this game now under the name 4194. So we'll use that interchangeably moving forward. But now pushing onto this dragon. 3rd neutral objective, I believe, for the side of Beset Oryx. They won't go down without a fight. Pinky is looking for an opportunity to come in. Dr. Fox lying in the wake, throws one ball in there, but won't be enough to steal at this point, as also Blaine ultimates in from Gangplank while simultaneously taking the top turret. I don't need to use teleport.
Aurochs is just sort of deciding there that it was worth pushing the mid lane a little bit and getting that top tower and just seeding what is only the second dragon over to the Beset Aurochs. So nothing too game breaking here, although they do have full control of this bot side, and they saw Rook back, so that is their signal to start up this next neutral, which can do a lot of damage and spread some serious magic armor, as you see Aurora able to one-shot Trundle.
Oh, you're right. So much shred coming in there, and of course, Otacon throwing abilities into the lane there, I think basically under vision, despite trying to remove the ward in the pit. It didn't matter at that point. But we see a flip-flop in the Otacon take. We have 5 men available here from the side of INCFY as they try to push off this over-leveled red side here. Sour Sam...
There's a Cho'Gath available.
Yeah, looking to lead the charge. Will have their own smite available. Well above 1,000 damage will the Cho'Gath ultimate do at this point, as they lie in wake on the outside, does have it available, and I think very wisely, Italian NASA is deciding to back off this, knowing that a 50-50 is not what they want while Chef Zangy is gone.
Yeah, excellent job by the Beset Aurochs to just stall that threat of the feast from Sour Sam. Is too great, and the Italian Nasus Cooks just have to wait. They don't know if it's if the team is recalled though, so I don't think there's gonna be a quick take here. Both sides want to reset, get that vision back before they go.
No, but beforehand, again, we saw Gangplank, the Star, staying up in the top lane, only using the ultimate to check in the dragon fight. So they're able to get a fantastic push into the top lane. They can kind of ignore that momentarily if they do want to play around the Otacon here. Mid lane being sent, or bot lane being sent rather, to mid lane. Emo Loser showing up there with Pinky, and blue side getting control of the top lane, but who's sticking around the Otacon? All of red side here. Beset Oryx looking for damage on a Rook, gonna get that shutdown, looking under the turret, and our cameraman was right. Chef Zangy does not care about turrets. They're gonna run through 2 to just 1 to pick up the kill on Aurora. Shutdown over to Zangy, 600 extra gold.
Incredible 1-for-1 there. And on the other side of it now, we do see the jungler Zangy fall, so that means that no Otacon. Zangy invested so much in that, sneaking in through the vision, doing a great job, but my goodness, Rook on this Aurora has been so hard to bring down cleanly.
It is tough looking as we progress through this game, almost to the 23.5-minute mark as Otacon starts to go down. Team fights are very interesting between these two teams. You have a lot of poke available from the side of INCFY as a Jhin ultimate opens up. Curtain's Call might find somebody here on the back end. They're going to stand just out of range while they finish this Otacon. Oh, a little bit of BM there with the emote coming through, but blue side does take up the Thornbound Otacon, and yeah, like I said, fights are going to be interesting because Sour Sam and Zangy kind of have to run directly into the fight, which leaves Blaine some time to set up some barrels, kind of knowing where they're going to have to go to start something. See it there.
Zangy once again trying to just run down Star. Don't think there's a teleport available for you this time, Blaine.
Don't waste it.
It's gonna be a shutdown, but still, I think all the pressure that Blaine has been applying there has really thrown the Beset Aurochs. They're not, like, the Italian Nasus Cooks is not opting in for this, like, clean 5v5, like, kind of Civil War era. We're just gonna stand in a line and fire at a Revolutionary War era, we're gonna stand in a line and fire at one another. It just is not working that way. Both teams are willing to just back off and, like, look for an angle and patiently wait for a pick before they do anything. So, and now with all of these little fights that have happened on the bot side, once again, there's a dragon coming up here. This one a little bit more important than the last, though, because it would be a third here for the Aurochs.
Yeah, 2 versions of a pick comp is what we're seeing. One with a little bit of a front line, one kind of counting on getting some CC out of that Aurora, and boy, have they done a fantastic job getting some kills onto Aurora and Corki as we see them now pushing in for the opportunity to knot these dragons up 2-2. Zangy, of course, on the side of the other neutral objective, not able to convert on that, as we see Imaloser going in deep here for Dripper. Dripper flashes away, will come back with the damage. Chef Zangy able to clean this up in the mid lane. It will be Dragon to the side of Italian Nasus Cooks for you, but one kill goes the other way for the Oryx.
Nothing is taken for free. It was the first time we saw a dragon just being taken completely uncontested, but they immediately punish in the mid lane, getting that kill onto Sage. And that'll give them control of the top side for the next few minutes. That is going to be the big focus. It's going to be on this Baron.
A lot of these fights happening around the 50 mark of the map, right down the middle. Somebody oversteps and all of a sudden they get taken out. Dr. Fox secretly counter jungling here outside of Sour Sam. Maybe have the damage to go through here. They do have Leandri's. They do have the lifesteal to go in here, and damage will come through. They will drop with assist going over to Rook. Rook only getting stronger and sharing the wealth to their little old deer in the bot lane. But that immediately tells Chef Zangy, maybe I should look for an objective the other way. Won't have the damage to start this alone, as all that pressure is coming through. Pinky with 3 stuns available, catches Dripper out for the moment. Dripper trying to run out of there, can't quite make it away. Pinty giving the speed boost to try to get out of there, won't be able to do it. And crisscross applesauce, we might have a Baron going over to Italian Nasus.
Been so active on the map, just they'll make a pick and move, and here they are on this Baron. There's no feast available here. Oh, I stand corrected. There's the teleport, trying to get there in time. How is Italian Nasus going to play this? You don't want to go too crazy here. But Zangy is deciding not to go for it, just pushing down the mid lane in response. The fight's out though. Sour Sam already so low. These two mages are doing so much damage, burning through the health bars of the Aurochs. But through that, they do not take Baron, and they end up losing a turret in the mid lane.
No, they stopped the Baron. Great decision for both teams. Rook putting down damage onto Sour Sam. Sour Sam having basically a free smite available at this point of the game with 8 stacks, 9 stacks. Now, as Sour Sam drops, so does Zangy. Star get low here. Curtain Call will drop to the back end as Imaloser gets the kill. Chef Zangy going down to Star, of course, and Baron not taking, but what a great move from the side of Besaid Oryx, saying, you know what, you've got a friend in me, Sour Sam. You have your own smite, probably about 1,400 damage now for Sour Sam on that Cho'Gath as fight breaks out with Firefly here. Maybe damage going on to Imaloser. 1Q lands, a lot of shurikens flying out here. Great decision making, sending Sour Sam to the Baron with basically a 1,400 true damage smite available, and just sending your jungler mid, because nothing quite takes a turret like a Trundle.
For all that, it is incredible to me that there was not like a Baron taken in all of that, or it was just a one tower in the mid lane. I really love the way that Aurochs played that last little fight, and this time they will have more tools available. I'm curious to see how Italian Nasus Cooks is going to respond after that. They've decided to send Blaine into the spot lane and sort of go, while we're at a low here, what is the Cho? Can I get a Cho stat check? What is
it's at here? 9 now. Yep.
9 feasts. Okay.
Yeah, 9 getting a feast in that bot side there. Of course, having it available for the Baron, but only using it to pick up 1 kill.
Jungle has appeared bot lane here again as Zangy finding Star here. Blaine going down, and that is not what you expect here. Maybe getting into some mind games in, because they know how much Zangy likes these objectives, and Zangy completely on the opposite side of the map and getting an easy kill here, and now pushing with his mid laner.
100% right, as we see Sour Sam retreat on the top side. Chef Zangy known for going for those objectives, but you mentioned this earlier, Sam, maybe surprisingly the amount of pressure that Blaine is able to put through. It's a double eruption, cancels 2 backs in the top lane. A lot of pressure available for Blaine, and they opt to send Zangy and Firefly bot looking for Rook here. Will save a shuriken flip. to get to Rook does not connect all the way as it's flip for flip, and nobody dies in the bot lane.
It's been masterful on this Aurora, just going in and out of this fight. And however, that means no ult available here, but Chef Zengi fallen asleep, but there's just not any follow-up. There is a dragon available, and so much has been put into the top side of the map. There's not a lot of vision here for either side as this dragon is up. So you can see everyone on the Beaststead RX in this rush. They come right out, gonna try to pop the star. They've called their target, and Gangplank goes down, but the rest of the team is here trying to fight. Sage untouched, opening up with that Gatling gun, able to Valkyrie forward to the back line. Pinty just hopping away. Now Sour Sam arrives. All 10 members here, but they've got a lot of HP to chew through, and the two mages that have done it. One of them's out. Aurora, though, still alive, and Sour Sam, all that health, where does it go?
Curtain call not enough to pick anybody out on the back end here. I like the decisiveness from both teams, and oh no, Aurora with another one. 6-1 and 7, free dragon to the side of Italianasis as they pick up so many kills. A clean ace, dropping 2, but picking up the dragon, knowing their teams so well. They're so masterful plays on each of these champions. Aurora, of course, popping off so strong, but the decision making from the said Oryx, I can't necessarily blame them. They're willing to throw Zangi deep into the fight, knowing that Sour Sam has another smite available while the objective is up. Killing Blaine early, great decision in these team fights. You can't discount a barrel coming through and taking out your entire backline. Weren't able to convert it here, but despite a 6-kill deficit, I think we have the said Oryx still in this game here.
Certainly. I mean, the last fight was set up very, very well by the Oryx. They had the clean pick, but then an excellent collapse because Italianasis Cooks just had the numbers. They had enough time in a 5v4 to get ahead in that team fight and close it out, but it was certainly not a one-sided affair. So they are still in it, and now the focus is going to shift to seeing if they can find a way to win a team fight over this bear. And the one thing that I've seen, the Italianasis Cooks have been so creative in their approaches to fights, their engages, and getting out, just staying alive as both teams starting to dance. And Zangi once again will be the one to kind of wade in there, trying to start something. And Firefly will look for the back line, going in and out, and will get the jungler down. And this is it. This is the Jin ult you've been looking for. The curtain call opening up on the side, and everyone caught in the crosshairs. Aurora now trying to run down the back line as the front line is getting chewed up by Sour Sam here. So close fight once again, though. 1 for 3.
Holy moly, and the gold lead drips down as Dripper gets the curtain call there, does the zoning third shot, but 4-shot comes through to kill Emo Loser. Fight continues here. Firefly dropping very low, dropping as low as you can get with the star going 8-8 and 7 now. No objective can be taken now. Baron, although hovering as Sour Sam, vision control in their own jungle is starting to look good from the side of Ice. INCFY. And despite the 5-kill advantage, less than 1,000 gold sits as across these teams as gold lead matters less and less as we approach max items. I see a collector on the Jin. That was there pretty early in the game, but now completing IE and will have the armor shred available as they look for another crit item to round off this build. But on the other side, the ability for Aurora to delete your backline, you have to get some vision and maintain it around this Baron if you want to survive these fights.
I'm looking at from this angle, and Spectator, you can of course see the gold, and that's one way of seeing how these two teams are faring one another. But the other way you can look at is just by vision line, and both teams have one deep ward and the rest of the vision is just sort of along the middle, showing you how close this game is. They know that they can't lose control of that, the neutral, and warding up the river, and that is where the focus has been in most of these kills. If the Blood Roses were still spawning, they would all be up and down the river, because that is where these teams are likened to fight.
Chef Zangy appears on your screen and you have to Valkyrie away. You have to respect the pillar coming out as Blaine. One barrel comes through, drops Dripper super low, passive will kill. And 2 kills picked up from Lilia there, actually chasing out now. Beset Oryx forced to back off. Firefly gonna look for something on the backside, but almost undoubtedly this is Baron barring a steal to the side of Italian Nasus Cooks for you.
No Sour Sam, go for it. Does have that beast available. Looks, goes for the rupture. No, can't see anything. So there it is. After so much back and forth, Baron finally claimed for Italian Nasus Cooks. And that fight was started the way that they wanted to start a fight. A depth charge from Pinky goes and hits 2. The knockup lands, and that immediately means that Gangplank and Blaine can follow with a big explosion, and there was just no HP after that.
Yeah, Blaine got to be feeling really good. Also a lot of crit on that Gangplank right now. If you can land a barrel on the back line, you change the fight entirely.
Yeah, with Infinity Edge on this Gangplank, there is just your carry, a full-on AD carry here for Blaine, doing so much damage.
The Oryx, knowing their team though, again, willing to send the likes of Zangy in there as a quick kill on the Aurora. That's massive from the side of the Oryx here. Picking up that giant carry, flying in now. Firefly dropping low, will lose the Karma on the back end. That's 1 for 1, but mid lane for support. Firefly looking for another angle onto Blaine. Blaine self-ulting to make sure that Akali can't fly in, but you know who can. It's a big old Chef Zangy and a big old Sour Sam pushing in deep. Zangy will die. A lot of procs from Heartsteel coming out. Sour Sam also dropping here. This is massive turnaround from Italian Nasus as Dripper dares to stand close to the sun. Icarus, get out of there, friend. You will survive momentarily, but Dragon undoubtedly soul. And maybe one more kill. Going over the side.
Committing. Just they do not care about this Blaine. You can go and take that dragon yourself. We want more kills. We want more push.
More pushes right too, as the wave slacking on their job here, not willing to walk up, and impatiently Emo Loser says, I'll take it. Don't worry about it, guys.
Corky, I get to build Triforce. I get to be a tanky carrier.
Let me proc this Triforce real quick on this turret.
And that is the first inhibitor of this game. 37 minutes it took. I mean, with all the fighting, I thought for sure one side would figure out some edge to just take this, and it has taken us almost 40 minutes to finally have this inhibitor fall. So in Italian Nasus, they have a little bit of an advantage, and now they're just going to see, can they use these supers in the mid lane to convert to something?
Yeah, a dogfight. Dogfight is the only word I can think of to describe this, as both teams understand their comps so well. We're having great play out of our Ruby players here. Blaine looks for another barrel, and shoutouts again to our supports. A combined over 230 vision score before the 40-minute mark. So I think part of this vision we're seeing, where it looks like the wards are very, very deep, is because those midline wards are getting cleared up. As we see jungle take now, oppression put down from the side of Italian Nasus Cooks for you. Chef Zangy looking for a Valkyrie Corki out of the mid lane. Rook right behind. Rook saying, I don't care if you're a tank, I'll protect my Corki. I'll jump in there. But Chef Zangy and Sour Sam are glued to one another at this point. Rupture goes through, hits 3. Could be the fight they're looking for. Can only find Pinky Soup on the front end. Emo Loser able to walk away. It looks like nobody will go down. Oh, as a dredge line just misses for Pinky Soup, and this is a razor's edge of a team fight with Gangplank away in the top lane, but Ultimate is not available. Ultimate not available. TP is, as Curtain Call comes out now.
Chef Zangy trying to do what he's been doing all game, running at them, this time flashing forward to try to get onto Sage, who can unload so much with this missile barrage. Pinky Soup staying there and tanking for as long as possible. The team is trying to kite away though, because Gangplank is pushing in that top lane, so they don't need anything. It does demand a teleport here as Firefly goes to answer. And now what can the rest of the team do as Italian Nasus Cooks knocking on the door of that top lane, wanting to find a second inhibitor turret. Can Firefly take the 1v1? Love the long range, just harassment here coming out of Nasus Cooks to make sure no one else can base and no one else's HP bars get to stay up. And that is a second inhibitor. Great patience there as Blaine just parks it in the top lane. His team unafraid to take a little bit of a 4v5.
Stop the ports! Stop the ports! They know they're strong with that Gangplank being up top. They say, hey, we only have 4 here. Honestly, it's okay if we drop one person because we've got supers in the mid lane. Italian Nasus now playing with a ton of advantages. Soul on their side, not having to worry about anything until Elder spawns, not for 2.5 minutes. And Baron in only a minute now. We'll see the junglers just look to clear their jungle. But of course, there's nothing available for Chef Zangy at this point as Gangplank continues to clear out that jungle. It looks like, based on the pings, Baron will be the next objective, willing to risk it. Our Beset Oryx, as Vision on the flip side goes towards the Dragon Pit.
This is so key. 3 members of Italian Nasus Cooks, it appears to be, at full build, and none here on the side of the Aurochs. So it's a matter of, this is your strongest point in the game for Italian Nasus. They've taken it this far to get up to this 7,000 gold lead. They're not getting any stronger, though. They've got to make sure they're not getting picked and getting closed out. Chef Zangy looking for that pick. Will survive with a sliver of HP, but Pinky Soup will be there to lock him down. Dr. Fox will score that kill onto the opposing jungle, but they do find the shutdown onto Corki, who's been a huge part of these team fights, and shredding of the other half is Rook here, trying to do something, but overall, Sour Sam, the HP bar is too big. Great job there by Firefly to just pick off target after target and make sure that Italian Nasus Cooks cannot come away with a clean fight there.
We said it once before, these team fights are a game of picks, and despite clearly winning that team fight for the side of Beset Oryx, they're forced to go back to defend the base here, not able to push it into a Baron. That would feel so nice at this point, pushing out the minions. But like you said, 3 completed item sets on the side of Italian Nasus. Going to start to be evened out here now that you have 2 waves of super minions pushing in. No real pressure on the bot side, so you're not too worried about losing that inhib at this point. But now you have both Baron and Dragon up now in 35 seconds. 2 objectives on the board. Who's going where here, Sam? It's getting intense.
It's anyone. I can call as closely as you. Like, I have no idea. It's so hard with this Elder coming up and Baron. Like, and both junglers have been so creative in what they've wanted to do. And already this time, the Cho'Gath is in the Orphan in the top lane as the rest of the fight commences. Pinky Soup landing everything onto Firefly. That's going to make things real easy for Italian Nasus Cooks. They can do whatever they like with that assassin out of the picture.
Yeah, Pinky Soup showing up so strong here in the late game, hitting hook after hook. Dripper will be able to walk out of this Ema loser. Valkyrie available, eats a pillar. Valkyrie straight down the lane. Chef Zangy's there, and there's no way you can get away from those 2 monsters in the mid lane.
The rest of the team is going to be monstrous, though. They have Elder up with that DOT on Lilia. Dr. Fox just wants to hit a few more bowling balls onto Chef Zangy to try to have him tick down into that Elder range. Needs at least 1 more. The inhibitor will refall. The siege is on. 2 people just trying to hold at the base. Sour Sam trying to go away. You got a lot of HP, but there is an Elder available. Dr. Fox will flash forward and claim the execute.
Oh, so big. Dr. Fox getting the damage through to take down Sour Sam. Sour Sam, the monster of a Cho'Gath at this point. And that run at him comp doesn't work quite the same without Sour Sam up. So limping away, Beset Oryx looking to clear out their base, knowing top lane's going to push in. This could be choice of going to Baron here, despite the vision control. And you see 2 red wards in the Baron pit right now. Will they back and look for Baron? It looks like they're going to continue Not the Siege, they're just looking for a pick. They maybe find one on the Firefly. Firefly able to sure can flip out of there for the moment. So opting for a pick opportunity, don't find one. They're not able to convert on another objective outside of that turret, but advantage, they still have 8K almost now, 7.5K in gold. They're able to kind of do what they want here. Is Italian Nasus cooks for you. Don't discount the enemies, but finally converting on the Baron now. With a pink down, no vision will be for Zangy or Sour Sam to get in there.
Got very patient play here as they take this. Now they got to just do their job and close this one out. They have everything on their side. An Elder, they don't need to go back. They've got full build. They just need to use these supers. There's only one in the mid lane, and it's a flash from Pinky on to Cho'Gath, trying to find it. There's front to back here. Everyone on that Void monster, but Sour Sam is going to get away. There is no execute that's going to come through. We'll have to touch base though. This turret now had half HP. They wanted that one, and Sour Sam just barely hanging on. How long can this turret manage? Not long. The turret's down. The Nexus is open, but there's going to be a fight. They can't just end it. They're looking. Pinky goes down first. Sour Sam now fighting. The star falls low in the background. It looks like the Aurochs are taking out from the side, and Roar trying to set this Nexus. It's just a few more hits. Blade is here.
A summoner has disconnected.
Oh, holy moly, Rook carrying that early game, carrying the whole team into the monsters they are at this point. Gets the Zanyas at the end. My goodness, stares down the two massive tanks in Sour Sam and Zangy and does close out the game there. A fitting end to what looked like the old school LPL of fight after fight after fight. Holy moly, Sam.
That was a brutal game one. 71 kills coming through. 46 minutes of pretty much constant fighting. What a game one. My God. Looking at these stats, look at the Dr. Fox on that Lilia doing the most damage in the game. Probably mostly the health bars of Cho'Gath and Trundle just getting whittled away over time.
It was a lot of fighting, but it was two teams that I think very well understood their comps, and both of their comps had angles to fight. Big shout outs for me into Pinky, particularly in that late game dredge line after dredge line, flashing, willing to trade themselves for the hook hit. And I think those catches on top of Aurora were massive. Should we bring somebody in for a post game interview, Sam?
Yes, I mean any of these players I think would be hype. Whoever you like.
Something tells me, and it might be biased for me because every time I play her, I just die over and over again. But Rook, with that masterful play on the Aurora, feels to me like our MVP here.
Let's bring Rook in if they are willing. Hello, Rook. Welcome to the stream. Are you willing to do an interview with us real quick?
Oh,
It's okay if you're not.
Yeah, we might not have everybody here. Again, what a long, intense game. I think we might be people running, as I'm sure you are at home, running to the bathroom real quick, taking this opportunity to get prepped for game two here. Second option. I mean, like you said, this whole team could have joined us. Dr. Fox says he's literally in the bathroom, and it's a good thing that you weren't hot mic'd at that point. As again, what an intense game one. We might be hard pressed to just move towards game two here. I think if Rook is back anytime soon, I'd be happy to pull them back in for an interview as we get set up for game two. Sam, holy moly, I have not felt the repercussions of an intense game one like that in so long.
I know, it's like now we get to see it again, hopefully. What a game one. I mean, they never wanted to stop fighting. Just There was nothing that was ever free. Both sides, and you called out the vision score at one point, and with how many wards were getting put down, it was incredible how both teams were able to still find those pockets of darkness to hide in and make a pick. They had the warding support from their team. They felt safe, but just the creativity of the angles, of the patience, you saw a lot from Zangi on that trundle. You also saw it with many times as well on Rook, just sort of hanging out, waiting in the shadows to make a pick. I was very, very impressed with how those two teams played in terms of vision in game number one.
Yeah, what amounted to basically assassins for both team. Firefly, of course, getting the patented Akali pick, which also played very well, served a very similar role to the Aurora for Rook. The ability to delete somebody. And honestly, I loved the picks from Sour Sam and Zangi, basically getting a free smite out of Sour Sam. You just stack some health. I'm willing to trade my body, says Zangi. And it just wasn't enough, as time and time again, we saw Rook converting on a pick. We saw Blaine putting down a ton of pressure on the opposite side. And with dredge lines missing 1 out of every 200 times, Pinky is there to set up these kills. That's a hard team to defeat from top to bottom.
One of the things I would love to see next game is I would love to see like Jonathan, who was on that Jin in game one. I'm really curious to see what they're going to bring. So they got onto a signature champion, and everything Italian Nasus Cooks did just really made it less effective than I think Jonathan probably wanted it to be. It was these fights were quick and they were bursty, and it felt like by the time the curtain call was even opened, the play was already done. And so I can't wait to see what new thing Jonathan's going to do in game number two to adjust, because you saw it was kind of the Pinky and Sage show there in the bot lane with Emo Loser just charging forward or Valkyring forward over and over on that Corki in order to be really, really present in those fights. And it felt like there were some absences on the side of the B-set Aurochs, not because of mispositioning, but just because that long range Jin just didn't really have much of an opening. The fights were just blinking, they're over.
Yeah, I believe this is first or second season for Jonathan Dripper, and already making it to the invitations. Again, if you haven't come out to play with us, yes, season 18 is just around the corner. Get to cmsaesports.com. Join us for season 18. But clearly a master of Jin. You're right, those curtain calls being forced to use kind of away from the team, so you didn't get as much of the fourth shot opportunities, but playing the Jin in that matchup, almost like this massively ranged mage champ who's able to do a ton of damage with the curtain call, and of course still has the opportunity to stun you. It has, dancing grenade, deadly flourish, captive audience. There's so much damage available from Dripper, but will not be available now in game two. So I'm excited to see who will come through, as we see pretty identical bands coming out in game two. Thresh going down, and Sour Sam won't get to play Garen, and Zangi won't get to play Nasus.
Wow, same three bands for Italian Nasus Cooks U. Just deciding that, hey, it worked in game one. We will continue to do that for game number two.
Yeah, advantage to them, taking out another, again, LeBlanc band in game one, but now that Akali is off the table, that's 2 of Firefly's patented assassins off the table. And I wonder what they're going to pull out. We saw a late stage Diana ban as well that came after the Akali pick. So I don't know if that was targeted either to Dr. Fox or up into the top lane. Over to the side of Zangi or up into the top lane for Sour Sam. But Braum taking up very quickly, of course, a very strong bot laner right now in Braum. Very universal.
Yeah, very, very strong. I was actually privileged enough to play some games this week with with the support on the side of Italian Nasus Pinky, and it was one of the picks that Pinky wanted to practice going into this week. So will definitely has a plan for how to pilot that champion and can just stymie so much of what their opponents want to do.
That's the kind of soup Pinky is cooking as the Diana does come through here. So that was probably a pocket pick for either Zangy or Sour Sam. But I guess could also flex to Firefly mid, although I'm not sure if they're a Diana player. I think, in fact, they once told me that is an F tier champion, but they also told me Akali was an F tier champion. So hard to trust. We'll see where it goes as Samira gets picked up with the Diana. Already a lot of dive potential here. And Braum, not a ton to stymie this dive outside of an ultimate.
Yeah, but really does like it when people come into him. So I'm not. I think that as a Braum, you're probably pretty happy here. And well, two very quick picks here on the side of Italian Nasus Cooks for you. They knew right away what they wanted to do, answering with Akshan and Volibear.
Akshan, who I was kind of hoping to see in the Pearl Invitationals too, as we have Skippy McSkipper patented Akshan pick, but getting to see it in this game now. Is this an Akshan mid? Is this a flex pick? Or is there some sort of Akshan tech into the Samira matchup I don't know about?
I would love to see that in the bot lane. There are lots of things that can cook this game, and that would definitely be one of them. I would love to see that.
How about we just all die and then we get revived very, very quickly? New strat. It's the old revive TP strat coming out as second rounds of ban. Again, almost identical to game one here. Shen goes down again.
Except that last time there was a Malphite ban, and this time Malphite has been picked up. So they'll have to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, no hard AP damage shown for the side of Italian Nasus Cooks for you at this point. I assume they're going to need to get, of course, Volibear a little bit there. They're going to need to get it out of the top lane if they want hybrid. But Malphite also now a patented pickup for our cameraman. I think that happened accidentally when he found out you can press R and win the game.
And flexing last week into an AP sort of a Malphite build and the Invitational. So we'll see if we can have it run back or if it'll be more traditional as the Rubies play.
A little bit of an AP build. I think that was Malignance and and like what's our crit item here too? Oh man, very heavy AP as I recall. Rock solid, says Skeleton. Fantastic. And Data joining us as well, saying Diana higher win rate in the mid lane still could be a flex pick, and it looks like they're holding it for last pick again. Very wisely running these drafts as John gets chat restricted momentarily. But Nami rounding off this team. So Samir going in, getting buffed up quite a bit. Stuns available. This is reminiscent of the opposite side, Nautilus, who has lots of stun opportunities. Nami, of course, knock you up, slow you down, and buff my teammate. With heals too, so sustained damage available for Samira, and Silas going to be rounding off that AP we were looking for Italian Nasus.
As a juicy Malphite ult to try and abscond with here in the second game.
Yep, I love that as a counter pick to Nasus, being able to pick that as an ultimate. And the superhero himself, Galio, coming out now too, makes it very hard to jump into this team. Samira there, Malphite there, but as you said, I don't know if I want to jump into a Braum or a Galio.
Yeah, they've, however, they don't necessarily have as big of a backline to protect here. Even Akshan wants to be floating on the outsides. I'm very interested to see where everyone on Italian Nasus Cooks for You is going, because they seem to have forgotten some roles. But I'm way beyond trying to read the tea leaves on that one. It's much more straightforward on the opposite side of the map now that Orianna has been locked in.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense as control mage mid rounding out our blitz ballers in Besaid Oryx here. And that will be Malphite top, Diana in the jungle, Orianna in the mid lane, and you'll have Samira Nami in the bot lane. As it looks like, I guess the only question here is volley top or volley jungle for the side of Italian Nasus cooks for you.
Yeah, and I'm real surprised to see this auction bot. If anyone in chat knows, is this getting played? Because I'm unaware if this is a bot lane pick here. But no doubt it can be very strong. Wait, chat, I do want to hear, who do you think is going to win, or who do you want to win game number 2 now that the teams have locked in? Italian Nasus cooks for you, sporting some Akshan, sporting some Silas to counter some Malphite. We got Braum to just get up there and set everything, or the Besaid Aurochs here with Samira. Will we see a pentakill? Will we see some huge Malphite knockups? Some Orianna Wombo combo? They've got so much displacement on the side of the Besaid RX Jet Shot Mark IVs.
They do. They do. These are, again, we saw team fight after team fight in game 1, and I am equally afraid of the damage that can come out from both sides here in game 2 as we push through the spectator delay. A couple of the players in the game here showing up in the chat just as the game gets to start. Friends of friends and CMSA members alike joining us here for game 2. If you missed game 1, we are on the same side. Blue side is Italian Nasus cooks for you. That's the star. Dr. Fox, Rook 4194, Emo Loser, Sage, and Pinky Farts, Ma with the Soup, Sir Thrundle, Soup, all the names on the blue side. Red side going over to Besaid Oryx. That's Sour Sam, Chef Zangy, Firefly Dripper, and Pinty rounding off the comp. And we're looking for, and we talked about it earlier, we had our Crystal Invitational, we had our Pearl Invitational. We entered a decisive game 3. That means 1-1 after the first 2 games. Can we get the 3-peat here, Sam? Push us to a perfect invitational season.
This is where my caster bias always comes out. I always want to see a game number 3. I always want to hear the silver scrapes. I'm ready for it. Besaid Aurochs. They have drafted a team that can definitely do it. I mean, just look at that. They've got so much ability to just wipe you. If it's just one person alone, they can easily pick them off. Or if you're going to go for a big team fight, I dare you. Because they've got this Malphite, they have Samira to just dive. Everyone is in there diving in, including Nami herself. And Orianna's ball, and it is just you can't group against them at all. And so Italian Nasus cooks, they're gonna have to figure out how to get around the Besaid RX team fight, because it looks very deadly.
It does. It does. That dive potential is so scary. Of course, working around a lot of ultimates, though. So maybe those timelines of the ultimates could be their downfall here, as I also have a slight bias for a decisive game 3. Of course, stick with us. We will play 3 games regardless. But
so I do want to say, as somebody who played last week in the Invitationals, who played a Malphite into a Silas, I was terrified of the Silas counter pick. But the one strategy, if you want to deal with it, just kill Silas before he can ult you. Ult Silas before he ults you.
Hear that, Sour Sam? I'm going to be looking for it this game.
Take notes. They won't match up in the lanes. Is a Silas over to Rook. Rook coming off that fantastic Aurora game in game 1, and looking at skins now too. That is 1000 Pierce Bear, Volibear, which I always think does not look like Volibear, so it feels like cheating to me.
I always think it doesn't look like Winnie the Pooh. But
even when he carries the honey pot around, you can't tell.
Okay, will we get an invade? Did not see it last game. Oh, I love that.
Nope.
Ooh, look who's running though bot lane. I've got 3. Oh man,
Yes.
break off now.
Same ping. They did see it last time. Remember when they came to lane, Dripper almost and Pinty almost getting caught by a dredge line. They're going to have a similar invade strategy. I wonder how much they've been practicing for this matchup. They'll drop the ward that lets Dripper and Pinty know maybe they're setting up for the same thing here. And they are, of course, this time, not the straight up CC option that you had from a dredge line in the Nautilus, but Pinky's still no slouch for CC here. Gonna throw a big old door at you and stun you pretty quickly with Akshan getting passive autos in there as a 5-point comes out yet again. It's hot out. Everybody fan out.
Now, looking just at the individual matchups, in that top lane, obviously you've got Malphite, lover of the armor, Galio, lover of the magic resist. So see how these two titans kind of battle it back and forth. In the bot lane, Akshan not normally a pick you see. I'm curious if it'll function. So we get to zoom in here. Sour Sam chilling in that brush. I'm curious if it'll function similar to Twitch, where Akshan can stealth kind of further up the lane than you might anticipate, and then that gives Braum a little bit of tempo to kind of leap forward onto his stealth teammate, and then like start some fight that way, or if it's just going to be more passive.
Yeah, Akshan, the advantage of having that bonus damage from the passive, Dirty Fighting will come out, and if you can go, auto into auto pre-3, particularly with stun option from Pinky here on the Braum, maybe there's a fighting, an advantage here pre-3, but I think after that, normally I give advantage as a nice heroic swing in, trades that damage right there as we saw it. No stun initially proc, Dripper forced under tower. You're probably happy with this as Dripper, trading a little bit of health, but having Nami to heal you back up. And again, our Ruby players knowing their level advantages so well here. This is so exciting to see early game.
I just love his mid lane matchup. Rook takes what seems to be a big trade onto this Orianna, but then Firefly knows, well, you got no cooldowns left. I'm just going to auto you all the way back to equalize the trade. However, it is Orianna at low HP, so that is certainly an advantage to the mid lane. Star and Sour Sam, though, going back and forth as Galio coming out with the early health advantage.
Yeah, dropping a little low there. One major advantage, Silas also, of course, healing in their kit, but rocking the Doron shield versus Orianna opting for the early tier of the Goddess, so won't have as much healing as an unknown circling coming around. Rook putting down the damage. Dr. Fox gonna be there. Drops a little bit more damage. Could this be the death of Firefly? Firefly trying to get out. Command attack. Command to the side here. Will be able to walk out momentarily, but eats one more dick.
Takes him down, Dr. Fox. First blood claim for the Italian Nasus Cooks. Wow, I thought Firefly was going to get away. Oh, there it is, though. The quick stun proc. It just takes one from this Braum. They're chasing on Pinty, but Dripper has just been able to open up untouched back onto this bot lane here, and now Pinky just having to run away. They put so much effort into killing Pinty that they forgot about the fact that it's a Samira on the other side. You just can't leave him alone.
Yeah, there's no heal cut opportunity right now to stop that healing out of Nami as we see Dr. Fox visiting their second lane now. The sky is opening up. It's being split, but doesn't land on the Sour Sam despite getting that one kill on the top side, but stalking is Chef Zangy. Slower clear, but now has one buff available. Diana going in. The power of the moon gets taunted momentarily. Won't have the damage to translate into Dr. Fox. Sour Sam limping out of the backside. Not enough to kill. Zangy looking to go back in again. Level 4 to level 5. But does pick up the kill on top laner. Star goes down, trades one back as Dr. Fox. That's an assist going the other way. And unfortunately, Sour Sam didn't get a touch there as feet does go over to the Silas. Sour Sam not getting an assist in that trade, so much more gold. 600 advantage going over to the side of Italian Nasus.
Very different look from last game as both junglers ending up on the same side. and just covering for their laners. 1-for-1, not the worst, but if you're on the side of the Aurochs, you certainly wish your top laner can grab a little bit more of that farm. Oh, Emo loser now. Using that stealth, coming right out onto Dripper, but Pinty's here. Do they know about Pinky? Very patient, tries to block that bubble, but will not be able to do so.
Yeah, going rogue is Emo Loser trying to sneak in their Dripper. Of course, no mana at this point right now. Can get the heals from Pinty, but pretty even trade opportunity as not a lot of damage items across the board for either team. This seems like a passive scaling opportunity. Emo Loser going in despite only having the Cole and one Doran sword. Gets some damage over to Chef Zangy. You love having Pinky there. Ability to proc a stun onto anybody running at you. And we saw it fail a little bit onto the Nami attempt to kill earlier, but enough to get them away from Chef Zangy, who's sitting 1-1 after that top gank.
One thing I want to point out, look at the build here coming out of Sage, the AD carry of the Italian Nasus Cooks with the Cull early. So not maybe wanting to try to fight or slam directly into this Samira early on, just intent to sit and farm down there. Very different idea from the first game. Oh, but Dr. Fox has gone fishing. Found a Nami. Luckily the team is there.
Yeah, defending Dr. Fox, and more than that, Chef Zangy already 6 on this. Diana has no problem moonfalling directly into stun, picks up a kill onto the opponent jungler, and Dr. Fox, or Chef Zangy, was already ahead 4 stacks on their jungle item. Is going to translate into this dragon here. Pinky poking in, but won't have the damage to trade back, as Chef Zangy does have that early level smite. Should be a free dragon take here. Oh, very wisely holding it. I would have smited that at 606 and then lost it to the Braum. But does pick up the dragon.
And that is the Zangy that we are familiar with. It has been there all season, just having a vice grip on the neutrals. We'll see if it gets split. Normally one team will take dragon, the other one will go for the Rift Scuttles on the opposite side of the map, but I don't know. It seems like Zangy, with this early lead and that shutdown gold from killing Dr. Fox, may have something to say about that with the Haunting Guys in the inventory.
Yeah, pathing advantage going to Dr. Fox, starting on the bot side, going to clear up towards top, and also gets a later back with a pretty sizable 20 CS advantage over the Malphite is Blaine right now. So maybe more ability to fight. As you said, Galio stacking some of the MR, starting the grubs a little bit earlier. Start is available. They could look to fight immediately as one grub goes down, but the rest of the side of the Oryx collapsing here, not wanting to give up anymore, trying to get out is Dr. Fox, who will eat a Moonfall, but will ultimate to the side here. Does drop inevitably, but Chef Zangy also looking a little bit low here. Rook looking for the opportunity to turn back the fight, does so, takes one for themselves, flashes away, leaving Blaine alone momentarily, but you're not alone when Rook is near. Rook coming back to get the kill, and it will be an even 2 for 2 as Firefly is able to kite out slowly in this mage, control mage pick in the Orianna. No additional objective, so maybe advantage going to the side of the Oryx. Not bias here for a decisive game 3.
Surprisingly, both teams opting to leave their supports to just babysit the carries and not roam up there like we saw last game. And so the first one was, I don't know who claimed that first one. I'm assuming the Aurochs. Is now Dr. Fox trying to finish off the other two.
The initial feed?
It
actually went to the... Oh, I was going to say, Italian Nasus get that.
Yeah, the feats are there. So Dr. Fox starting on trying to take on the second or third for his team. We'll grab that neutral. And Void Grubs go over to Italian Nasus Cooks.
Yeah, again, jungle clear, pushing Dr. Fox up towards the top side, and Chef Zangy towards the bottom side. Isn't spotted on this pink ward yet. I don't know if they were caught coming through initially. They are now picked up by that ward. They know it. Probably thwarting this dive bot as they have a full jungle to clear. Ahead is Dr. Fox now on the clear on the top side. They may be able to path mid, but we saw excellent kiting from Firefly, who just dodges out on a stun here from Rook, but can't get the second half as the command shockwave comes back against you in your face, forced to limp away momentarily, and you can only use that on yourself with no command move, right? It just, the ball permanently sits on you.
Yeah, that's right. You just get to cast Sombrero right over your head, and it goes off. But you do have a Rod of Age. Rod of Age is now complete for Rook in the mid lane versus that Archangel Staff of the Orianna. I'm so impressed with what the Aurochs have gotten to in the bot lane. Star. I love the harassment. But like, just the Aurochs here with the Samira Nami, I would think that that it would just be a little bit more advantageous on the side of Sage, but I guess they've managed to lane lock him for so long as Star and Sour Sam. It blows my mind watching top lanes how they can just constantly be trading HP. Just salivating as the jungles, and you can already see Zhangyi making their way up here. There goes Malphite, unstoppable into Star, and all of that trading finally punished. And you called out a 20 CS lead earlier. That's evaporated going in the way now of Sour Sam.
Crescent Strike just getting in there for the follow-up from Chef Zhangyi, and here they're looking to fight. Of course, they have Dr. Fox. Dr. Fox unknown, shuts off the turret momentarily. Can they translate the damage? Dripper getting the heal on the back end, getting out of turret range, the Emo loser. Sage gonna look for that kill, does get it, might lose Dr. Fox, able to limp away for the moment, putting more damage into Pinty. Don't need the kill onto Pinty now. Is a great heroic swing. Again, I would have killed myself under the turret on that one. They're able to limp out of there. One kill for nothing, and that's despite Dripper having a BF sword advantage over the Cole of Akshan. That is just a team play advantage running in there, and it could translate to Dragon, but this is a little bit risky for Dr. Fox.
Yeah, you called it out. They only had the call. Now you've got the BF sword. So this next fight is going to be a very, very different look. Zhangyi and Dr. Fox fighting over this dragon. They're not going to let it get low enough for a smite fight. Zhangyi turning around, dropping that moonfall means that the Drake always going to go to Dr. Fox. Great smite there in the midst of that.
And a great hero's entrance coming in from the Galio as the fight continues. Pinky getting caught up by the bubble. Pinty, great drop on there. Sky being split open, but Dr. Fox maybe not having the stun. Does get it here. Emo loser pushing forward, zoning Pinty from Firefly. Firefly not having the ability to save them at this point. Dripper mouth is salivating, an opportunity to maybe go in, but the turret can't save you at this point. The Star answering towards the bot lane. Galio not gonna drop here, more damage on the Firefly, and that is a 1 for 2 inevitably as Dr. Fox goes down. Turret still available, the fight continues. Rook wanting to trade damage, knowing they can heal most of it back, and without your Nami available to heal you, you have nothing on the back end. Chef Zhangyi dropping low themselves. Rook able to push in here. And will we limp away at this point? We will. We will. The fights continue from game one.
King 3, says this Nami. Pinty started off the counter engage though happening, and now Chef Zhangyi will just go 1 for 1. Emo loser trying to do something there out of the stealth. But look at his Rook in the back line. Dripper finally at S rank. Infernal trigger will fire and score a kill. First time we've seen that ulti.
Yeah, tough one to get Dripper popping off there. If you're the side of Italian Nasus, Dripper staying alive through it to pick up that kill on the back end. 2-2-1 now. Akshan, like you said, has the BF sword and the slingshot. Still working on a Cole though. That's a full bloodthirster into Dripper. Maybe looking for objectives or an odd man fight as the top laners continue to duke it out as they do.
Yeah, very fashionable first item build there for Janathan. I love it. Normally you see Collector first, but more and more it's gone for the Bloodthirster first here on the Samira, just in order to get a little bit more tankiness in these fights. And the extra survivability just helps you get there to get that passive kind of charged up so you can get all the way to the ultimate.
And then the natural build for Samir after this, if this is you playing, Sam, is this Collector into a crit build once you get the BFs or you get the Bloodthirster?
Yes, probably, most likely, yeah. You're going to see an Infinity Edge and a Collector come out. Maybe not in that, probably not in that order though.
Yeah, we saw a couple Collectors dropping in game 1. 2, of course, is Rook and Stalks. Chef Zangy knowing that they walked towards that bush.
1v2 there. Emo trying to score a, we didn't quite see it, but presumably getting way up into the lane, trying to score a kill onto Samira.
And let me tell you, I'm very jealous when I see a jungler invade and have multiple of their teammates go with them, as another S rank comes out from Dripper. Might not have the damage to push through, but Chef Zangy is gonna drop, almost drop on the other side of the map. Instead, picks up kills over onto Dr. Fox and the Star, and another kill.
Kill! I mean, that is what you do, right? You're congratulating the Aurochs. They brought four members up there to really make sure that they could do something on the top side. But I'll hold that thought, because it can Dripper make it 3 in a row against this bot lane.
Exhaust.
Loser certainly not. Will finally get shut down. But boy, that took a while just to kill Jonathan, who is really starting to be a problem on the Samira.
Oh, just the Yuntal now for Emo Loser. Really, it does pick up the win. A big shout out to Exhaust. Never leave home alone without your exhaust in your back pocket. And again, we see two teams that are equally strong, knotted up in Dragons at this point with a close gold lead. This is so reminiscent of game 1. Strap on your dancing shoes. We're going to be here all night, ladies and gentlemen, for another barn burner.
And it won't be long, I think, before we see this, as this dragon is starting to come up, and already the side of the Aurochs is moving into that jungle, making sure that they have lots and lots of vision. This is more of the playbook of Zangy wanting to have a strong control of the river. They're completely dark for Italian Nasus cooks on that side of the map.
Opportunity to push in here. Maybe, getting those grubs early onto Blaine still allows for some split pressure. Not quite the same as a Gangplank to a Galio, but will have the ultimate that can answer in Hero's entrance. But we see a Malphite rushing in to take that turret in the mid lane on Shelly. Shelly standing there for a minute, distracting the team while Dripper starts the dragon, and great zoning from the side of the Oryx here. Again, complete darkness, as you said, almost baiting them in to take the plant, and the ultimates come through one after another. Damage, tidal wave, gonna knock 2 more up, 1 kill. Are we gonna get more here as the Star drops down? And that is the catch potential of the side of the said Oryx. They're looking for so much damage coming through at once, and Emo Loser actually picks up a turret on the back end.
It looks like Command Malphite there as the Orianna ball just goes flying into the enemy team. That is it. I mean, you have to be so careful for the rest of the game. Italian Nasus are going to be pinging every push like that, because they cannot win if they're repeating this. I love how Sage going on a just
those Poro points. Poro points, baby.
Just auction things. Complete style. That's definitely the most stylish death we've seen all night.
You're right. That is the threat of this team, though, for the Oryx. It is a command shockwave. It is Malphite flying at you, Chef Zangy, and we saw it there. Meanwhile, while you're knocked up, you see the tidal wave coming from this hurricane offshore, slowly rolling at you, and there's not much you can do about it. Of course, Riot says you can't cleanse knockups, so you're just going to have to eat it. Bit of a wet noodle fight continues here. Dr. Fox on Sour Sam, a 2-level advantage for Sour Sam and a Pinky Soup, but no vision to tell you that a few more are around. Zangy showing themselves momentarily means that this fight breaks off, and no neutral objective on the board right now, so it's time to get farmed up. And in that department, we're pretty even. Like you said, we saw a flip-flop in the gold lead, where the Malphite now 15 gold ahead after getting a couple kills on the Diana onto that Galio.
This Malphite just stacking armor, even though it's really just for a couple members of this team. going to be real hard to take down. There's not that like Leandry's threat that there was in that last game.
Yeah, not the full AP Malphite we've seen once before. I expect to see some sort of magic resist coming out probably. I mean, you have the Merc Treads at this point, but something a little bit thicker for the Malphite if they're not going to translate into damage. And lying in the wake, Chef Zangy and Pinty looking to go in here. Dripper maybe looking for the S status as they continue the fight onto the star. Emalus are already down. You're down your 80 carry. You're about to miss your top lane. Ultimate comes through for Dripper. 2 picked off in the mid lane. No neutrals available, but can they translate this into 1 neutral available? I forgot about Otacon. Can they translate this into more kills?
They want the whole, they have the net being cast. They just don't know about him. However, is there going to be a counterpunch, or are they just going to recall and give? Looks like they're willing to just give this one away. Otacon going to go onto the side of the B-Said Aurochs as the whole team here to collect this one. Oh, Pinky once again going to try for gonna keep you honest with your smite, Dr. or Chef Zangy.
Yeah, don't waste it. You're going to get the winner's bite in there to steal it away there every time. I like the decisiveness from the teams, though. They know they're going to lose. The Otacon, you've got other objectives coming up soon. Let's not throw away any lives. Let's let Pinky try to steal this one and set up for something else. It's something that I think you miss a lot of times in those solo queue games, remembering to play for pressure. There's no point of running into that Otacon when instead you can go to the top lane and try to work on cutting down that CS lead, which Blaine now has done. Only 7 CS behind, with a lot of bounties available onto the side of the Beset Oryx. So a decisive team fight could flip this game pretty quickly.
See if they notice I'm trying to get deep vision. I do want to take a moment and just talk 2 names that were so quiet in the first game. Jonathan and Pinty have just been so pivotal in this game. You can see this Samira already completing 2 items at Collector now in the pocket as Jonathan just continuing to farm it up and is a huge threat. It's like the fights are going. They're not able to dive onto the backline and get a clean Samira, and you're just watching the letters tick, 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 getting closer and closer to that S rank, and then you've got to run or try to hold something, and there's just not a lot of instant answers to stop this. Samira being a great pick here and very strongly played by Dripper.
Yeah, not that immediate CC you want to see to take down the Samira, and Dripper's kind of a double-edged sword right now too. Really the only consistent AD damage coming out for the Oryx, which on one hand means you really got to keep Dripper alive, but also we're not seeing armor taken out of the side of Italian Nasus Cooks for you. So if Dripper can get on you, this is you know, darn near true damage here when we get some armor shred for Dripper.
And now with this dragon coming up, both teams trying to fight for him. Unstoppable force from Sour Sam onto 3 members, but no one falls. Now the re-engage happening, and Blues are just opening up on the back. But it's Dripper who is Infernal Trigger into the back line, cleaning up this fight. There's still a few members left. They're on Zangy. Can they grab one more? As Dripper is all the way onto the turret. Chef Zangy gonna barely be able to get away, and they do. The 2 carries pick this up. Great counter engaged by Italian Nasus, or by B-Said Aurochs after they get that. Now Pinky trying to just see, can we stall for time here?
I don't think we'll be able to see it. We've seen a lot of chase coming out for B-Said Aurochs, almost leading to their death in that fight, as they were pretty split off from a lot of damage still available to the side of Italian Nasus Cooks for you. But all in all, we see Dragon, another neutral. This is Dragon number 3 over to Chef Zangy, as they continue to push this kill lead, 4,000 gold lead at this point. And it's so hard, even without stacking the CC necessarily for B-Said Oryx. If Malphite hits, if Orianna hits, it's almost guaranteed that Dripper has the opportunity to hit S status and go off on the backline. So very wise strategizing around team fights are we going to need to see for Italian Nasus to get a hold of this game again, as caught out is Sour Sam. Just kidding.
The mountain's just gonna walk away. Getting into
Rock solid.
in front of this dark bush saying, see how many people are behind me. Oh no, I should go back in with the Unstoppable Force. The whole team is here. Hinty, the wave goes around, and there's X, Dripper, Inferno Trigger on the whole team doing just too much damage. And without the whole team there to fight, an easy cleanup for the Aurochs, and they now get to try to take this Baron.
Yeah, we said it, without even stacking the CC, if you throw the Unstoppable Force, only hitting the Volibear there, but immediately forcing Stormbringer out of the fight. So any opportunity to turn around and take a fight for Italian Nasus is completely thwarted. And we see a little bit of pressure now from Rook being pushed on to the bot side, but that is another neutral objective going over to B-Said Oryx as Emo Loser looking for damage to Sour Sam, but Sour Sam is, as you said, an armored up, beefy monster at this point, and is now picking up a blasting wand for potentially some more AP damage.
Infinity Edge done for the Samira, Leandri is done for Orianna. It is all the major items are complete on the side of the B-Said Aurochs. They're all spiking at the right time. They've got Baron, and I suspect they're going to have a great use of it here as I love this. They've got a few in the mid lane, but then kind of the death squad out of the jungle. Where are they going to show up? It's the first strike is to the mid. 4 members here. They're going to quickly take out this turret.
4-1 with the Baron buff. They have a great rotation advantage. Lying in the wakes is the Star, who will have an opportunity to jump in like a superhero, but not if you get caught out. A great zoning tied away from Pinty, and a bubble on the back end picks up 2. Pinky Soup among them, and Dripper is able to just fly in on the backs of so much CC. This is a ton of pressure with only 1 Rook standing to defend this base. They have the wave, they have a double cannon with the Baron buff. Can they close this at sub 28 minutes here for a decisive game 3?
Unfortunately, Rooks, they go up and down, bouncing around. They cannot go sideways. It's going to be B-Said Aurochs taking down this Nexus and notching it up 1-1 for game number 2.
We did it. We did it again. The streak continues. 3 games for real in every Invitationals this season. And 4 next week, if you tune in for the Topaz stream, an opportunity to go 4 for 4 in getting the decisive game 3s with our first ever 4 iteration season of Invitationals. Holy moly, they kept it under 30 minutes for that one, but another banger, Sam.
I mean, it was like hanging of a lawnmower. The B-Said Aurochs, just once they got ahead, that team fight was just too strong for the Italian Nasus Cooks. And the thing that they had this game was Malphite and Diana to just say, okay, we're fighting now, and there is no kiting away from this fight. We're going to go for it. We're going to take it. What a great just team composition that the B-Said Aurochs put together. It looks so lethal.
Yeah, we got to see 2 or 3 times of that stacking CC coming in, and it didn't matter if you flashed out of a Malphite Unbreakable, you still have a Shockwave coming at you. You still have an S-tier Samira coming at you. A full CC comp wombo combo played to perfection to take game 2. So many great players in these games, Sam. Anybody we should bring in for an interview here off of game 2? It's a tough one.
Every single player, it did such a great job that game. I'd love to hear from one of the 2 in the bot lane though from that game.
I was thinking the same thing, either one of the 2. I was kind of leaning towards Pinty here, especially towards that late game, a zoning tidal wave to win that last fight, but we could bring in the entire bot lane. How about that? We'll see if...
Right, we'll do it.
Yeah.
We didn't have an interview game 1, so we'll have 2 in game 2 with the bot lane of the B-Said Aurochs.
Yeah, let's get we'll bring up Pinty here, and we'll get all of the bot lane here. Who's joining us now? Pinty, Dripper, are you guys here?
Yeah.
I guess so. I
Is
guess we
Inti
were-
Dripper, is it okay if you interview with us in after game 2?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
All right. Well, first off, congratulations on that win in game number 2. I mean, the tidal waves and the inferno triggers from Samira were just like on point. What was the thought process in Champions League? Did you expect to go off as hard as you two did in the bot lane?
Honestly,
I will definitely say, go ahead.
I was gonna say it was all zingy with like the team planning and the comp. That was just like such a great draft. That was so fun. Yeah, bot lane I didn't know. Great surprise. Worked out.
Nice. Nice. Dripper, a lot on your shoulders in that game too, being the primary source of attack damage there. Really nothing else on your team available. Do you feel that pressure when you get through the draft and kind of realize that there's so much on your shoulder to take game 2?
I think really it was a burden as a team that we shared. Because without the Malphite ult and without the Diana ult and without the Oriana ult, I wouldn't really be able to team fight much. But with them, oh, and also the Nami ult. So with all those ults combined, I was able to really capitalize on that CC, especially playing Samira with her passive.
I think we saw that capitalization translate so well. And you mentioned the tidal waves, but bubbles also hit from Pinty. Pinty, is Nami a typical pickup for you this season? How in depth are you into the Nami play?
Played champion this year and maybe the past year, like year before too. It's fun. I like Nami.
Last question
Yeah.
for you guys. What has been like, has anything surprised you tonight in game number 1 or 2?
I would definitely say the morale in between game 1 and game 2, especially with how hard of a game 1 was. But with it translating into game 2, I feel like we really shook it off of us and we're rearing to go for game 3.
Thank you so much. And any secrets you want to tell us about the draft before you go? Keep it
Sorry,
close
but we're
to
gonna
you.
keep that one a surprise.
So sad we had to ask. So thank you so much. And I think you're both
Thank you, Tim, for
relatively
joining us.
new to
welcome.
CMSA. So excited to see you guys playing here.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
send you back so you can strategize for game 3. But wow, the humble brag, the great modesty out of the bot lane, that's exactly what you want to hear, because it really can be tough after such a long game 1 fighting so hard. Coming out on the short end, I know this is a for fun game mode that we do, but people put in a lot of time and effort into strategizing for these games. So I love to see that energy coming out of your bot lane and your whole team to kind of sit in and be ready to play through a game 2 to push a decisive game 3.
As you mentioned, that is a duo that is new to the league, and so fun to see them both play and it really excel, especially in that game number 2. That's exactly what you want to see, just to come and make a really good memory that you have. If you're watching and have not joined us, please sign up. We'd love to have you in our next league. The signups are not open now for season 18, but they will open soon. So join our Discord, go on cmsaesports.com and sign up, because we'd love to see you, not just on the Rift, but also in other games as well.
And don't forget to bookmark, dare I say, bookmark shop.cmsaesports.com. Get some of the newer swag, not the old rinky dink stuff we used to have. Some of the newer swag out there, and support CMSA and everything that we do. It's a super fun community to join if you're not already here. And if you are already here, we love seeing you. So thanks for coming out. But that bot lane combo, it just goes to show what getting the right team comp, the right headspace can do for you. That is a bot lane combo. Pinty, she's top 5 in vision score in the league this season, top 5 out of all the players in Ruby, and Dripper top 2nd place overall, I think, in turret takes in the season. You know, but no slouch on the opponent side. You've got Pinky Farts, who's top 5 in assists, supporting Sage, who also played very, very well in both games. So it's so hard for me to say in this Fearless draft what we're going to see out of game 3. I kind of expect to see those similar ban patterns. I really don't expect to see Jarvan coming out as our teams file in. It looks like the side of Italian Asses Cooks for you may be on blue side all 3 games here.
Going into this next game, one thing I will say that I am expecting to see is lots of continued fighting. I think all these players seem to like looking for those skirmishes. They are unwilling to just like opt out of fights and back away. We've seen so many kills happen so quickly in game 1 and 2. I don't anticipate a 20-minute snooze fest. I would be very surprised if that happens this game. Not with the synergy coming out of both these top lanes. We saw top and jungles. They just can get together and either they know when to either send that jungle to the opposite side of the map and just play safe, or fight to the death, and here comes the junglers in to pick up some kills. Blaine and Dr. Fox had the better in game number 1. Sour Sam and Zangy certainly in game number 2. And who will it be among these 2 veteran top junglers to take it into this final pivotal match?
All right. Well, with that, we're going to get ready for our decisive game number 3. We're going to throw it to a quick break here. Everybody get your popcorn, get your snacks, and get set. We will be back very soon for the conclusion of season 17 Invitationals right here for Ruby. Join us again soon.
Welcome back, everyone. We are returning for the decisive game 3. I think you heard a little bit of silver scrapes going on. If there's anyone out there that can make some music for us, I would love to see that. Please, like, DM me or John or someone and be like, I've got a perfect theme song for when we go into these game 3s. Because look, it's happening every single week. Happened in the Pearl, the Crystal. Here we go. Topaz has got big shoes to fill in next week because wow, it's a banger. We've seen so many kills happening so far between game 1 and game 2. Anything can happen here. Game number 3.
Yeah, give us I'll let you use the name. You can call it Golden Etches or something like that. Well, definitely not a knockoff of Silver Scrapes, but uh it's nice. It's nice to see the community coming together. I mean, again, if you're not part of CMSA, everything here is just it's one big crowdsourced community from the emotes you have in the channel if you're subscribed to the channel here on Twitch to everything in the shop to I mean this event right here, this is crowdsourced. So shout out to you putting this together. You're as much a part of it as a viewer as anybody here. But we are here in game 3, decisive game 3. We do have same side selection. So I think we forgot to mention it at the top, but when we run through these invitationals, the initial side selection is based on a coin flip, which I believe was won by the side. I think Blaine might have taken that coin flip, the side of Italian Nasus, and opted to get blue side. After game 1, whoever loses the first game gets to have side selection for the following game, and that continues between game 2 and game 3. So those teams preparing very well for these drafts, this fearless draft, have given blue side over to INCFY for all 3 games. And I think we are getting identical bans. Will it be a LeBlanc ban to follow up for Italian Nasus here for consistency?
I don't expect to see much change, but the pools have thinned out considerably, so it certainly doesn't have to be the exact same. I mean, look at so many really powerful picks not on the board for game 3. I love this format because it just forces you to just pull deep down into your bag of tricks to bring something out.
Yeah, but a few pocket picks are still available as we see Zoe hovered for ban here for the said or Jack shot. Mark 4 looking for that third ban on Zoe. One of them notably is Blaine on Kled. And they might expect it to come through here and maybe pick differently around it.
On screen, you're seeing a misban, but that is a LeBlanc ban for Italian Nasus Cook, so they do go for the same 3 bans.
Beautiful. And we'll get to see the flash again, opting for first pick as Italian Nasus Cooks for you. Who will they? It's been, I think, the support both games. We saw Braum in game 2. I believe it was support
Nautilus,
pick.
yeah.
Nautilus in game 1. So confident with the bot lane pick. And I think really just getting first ban to opting to get rid of the Jarvan and Garen. Just a power play as Ari is going to come through here for Italian Nasus Cooks. Could this be a cheeky flex pick in game 3, though?
To that Akshan bot lane, it certainly could be coming out of Italian Nasus Cooks. I wouldn't put it past them, but Ari also very safe lane. And here we got, it looks like 2 mages potentially in that middle lane.
Yeah, assuming this is both mid lane, there's our AP damage set up here. Pick potential available from either side as Borax here with second pick coming down to the last 10 seconds, holding it, probably discussing in comms. This is a Wukong flash, so likely Zangy on Wukong in the jungle, again going for an aggressive, potentially invade, and of course the knock-up from Wukong available at 6. Will we see continued objective control out of the side of Zangy? And for anybody just joining us in chat now, games went split. This is a decisive game 3 to decide the winner of the invitationals here for season 17. Ruby play as Vi picked up on the back end a free ultimate, as maybe listening to the picks of last game saying, a wombo combo on your backline for free sounds pretty good. Why not a Vi but a Shaco hover?
Oh, if this is a Shaco, oh my goodness. It's got to be Switch, right? Don't
Is it
tease me like this, Pinky. It's gonna be
Shaco's
the Hulk
support?
champion, of course. Pinky going for a Blitzcrank. So good on that Thresh. You saw how effective the Nautilus was with those early hooks, and now you've got another hook champion here, the OG hook champion in Blitzcrank.
Yeah, you can't spell Pinky without CC. As Tarek coming out on the back end here, maybe a counter to the hard dive potential of a Vi. His ultimate, of course, is going to keep the entire backline alive if it goes through, and that will be the conclusion of the first round here. Ari most likely going mid lane Blitzcrank for Pinky, and Vi picked up in the jungle versus the Cinder Wukong, and Tarek and Shenban. Consistent bans across all 3 games. Yeah, and just trading picks here. And I believe we've kind of left the top lane most of these games for the last pick. And it looks like we'll do the same here. Top lane
Interestingly,
of
the 80 carry is falling so late in the draft here, both wanting to see, especially with like things like Samira that obviously is off the table, but has a lot of counters. So you want to kind of wait till you know what your opponent is doing. Still a lot of traditional 80 carries are available.
yeah, late Kled ban. The only difference so far in the banning, Yorick, of course, also a difference towards the end of this game. Caitlyn ban, now you're able to target those 80 carries a little bit that you haven't been able to do when they were picked up in the first round. Fortunately, my pick for Blaine Kled going down here, I expect maybe a different carry champion from Blaine, maybe something like a Jax, Relia, maybe even an Aatrox being flashed here, as Misfortune does get picked up for the Oryx here. First flash of the bot lane, but saving the top lane matchup again for last pick.
Yeah, I thought maybe Tarek would be trying to protect something a little more scaly, I guess. You see, like, oftentimes Tarek tries to be cheeky with something like a Twitch, but more traditionally with the hyper carries. But Misfortune here can be very strong early game, and the Tarek ult can be very useful after that. Smolder is the answer, which is going to be
Very
harder
scaly.
for very multiple ways, and certainly harder for Tarek to punish. So, and then of course Tarek loves a melee support. So, I think a very different look here in the bot lane. We're not going to see as much like back and forth fighting as we have, or at least some quick pops are not likely to happen. And then lastly, an Aatrox, World Ender himself up there in the top lane, picked up for Blaine.
Yep, I wondered if while hovering over the Gragas that was going to be the pick. I think Gragas still pretty strong right now, but we've seen it in these invitationals before, Sam. Occasionally the Gragas comes in with some anti-synergy with the ultimate being dropped, and that is a bit of a risk here with a Vi and an Ari, that you finally get them grouped together and send them away for free, as Quinn now being hovered as the Aatrox counter. That could come through, and 2 squishies with a Tarek might be a decent option here. A lot of damage available as it ticks down to 0. I believe that is a Quinn take for top. So Cosmic Radiance, a lot of pressure put on the back of Pinty once again to push through this game with a couple of strong ultimates. We'll see how this translates into the game. and we'll be able to confirm slots here. But I think it's pretty apparent where everybody's going in this draft.
Oh my God, chat! I want to hear who you think is going to win. Who are you rooting for in game number 3? Italian Nasus cooks for you. They've put together this beautiful team. They've got a lot of scaling. They've got the ability to pick. They have Blaine on this Aatrox, but they're taking on the Bised Aurochs, and boy, they've also put together a great team here. The Misfortune Bullet Time over like a Wukong and then Wukong going in with Tark Stun right on top. There's so much combo threat there, and the Quinn playing this assassin role gonna be very important here to try to slow down the autos and damage coming out of Ari and Smolder. This is definitely reared up to be an exciting game 3.
Yeah, a lot of map pressure available with a Quinn pick. I've seen our own Jogon from the Pearl Leagues playing a lot of that early symbiotic boots pick on Quinn for even more map presence available. And both teams took notes from game 2 saying if a Wombo combo is what it's going to take, we're both going to go for it here. A little bit more scaling, as you said, into that Smolder and Aatrox as they ramp up. They'll be able to do quite a bit of damage, but nothing to slouch at is the damage of a good Syndra. We see that a lot in the Pearl League too. I believe coming out in the Invitationals last week, or at the very least banned constantly out of our mid laners, Mithra and Skippy McSkipper.
I mean, Syndra just is so potent in any team like this. Just the ability to, from such a long range, just grab that stun and then nuke a target. If there's any, I mean, Firefly could get to the point where they can just do it themselves on a squishy target, or with any help around them. That said, I mean, Smolder does have the benefit of building slightly tankier, should they want to. There's so many different options that Sage has for Smolder builds here, and because sometimes the extra survivability is very helpful in a game, and it certainly could be against something like a Syndra and a Quinn. So that's the kind of the first puzzle that Sage is going to need to solve as they go into this game on Smolder.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Pasta Italian Nasus is really cooking up this game. Is on Smolder is the Essence Reaver? Is that the viable build right now, or is there something else? Is it a Triforce start? What's the common Smolder pickup these days?
Well, common is sort of subjective. There's sort of some flavor of the month things that are getting moved around where you're seeing like even crit coming really early, like as a second item onto Smolder. Essence Reaver, certainly good. You still sometimes will see people opting for things like a little bit more tanky, like a Shojin or something. But I wouldn't be surprised to see that Essence Reaver early, especially in a game like it just depends on where the game state is. I mean, if the game is if it's not looking to be like a quick game like game 2 was, and you can afford to slow the pace of the game down, nothing feels better than going Essence Reaver and just obliterating wave after wave with your permanent mana and just stacking, and that is what you want to do as Smolder. If you're anticipating needing to fight early, which these two teams have certainly shown they like to do, you might have to go for something a little bit more impactful.
Yeah, and impactful though is the roaming capabilities on both sides here. As a jungler, you love to have somebody who can follow you up around the map. Of course, having a Quinn, fantastic for pushing lanes, which as a jungler, if you have a Quinn that can gank for you, you can continue to focus taking down your own jungle, pushing into the enemy jungle, knowing that you don't necessarily have to be gank centric, which plays very well into Zangi's style of counter jungling. But similar could be said with Rook. Rook, we saw that pop-off game on the Aurora on that assassin style build of Aurora in game 1. The Ari and the Vi combo is also very deadly. That free knockup in the back lane lines up very, very easily with a charm. Anytime Vi wants to push forward and hit the cease and desist, you have a free opportunity to pop somebody if you can jump into the back line. So we have a slight pause here. I think we're just going to dance maybe in the jungle pit, and whoever dances the best will win this game. Or maybe they're talking about
It's all
some other
come down to this, ladies and gentlemen, a dance off for game 3.
A series of 1v1s. Oh, just a coin flip. Yeah.
While we're waiting, I want to ask you one of the things that I think is really important in any game is what is your like jungle top synergy look like early? Like and these both sides definitely like to fight early. Aatrox Vi versus like Quinn Wukong. Like what does that look like?
So Zangi has a bit of an advantage with stealth, of course, Wukong being able to clone in there sneakily into a bush, but nothing to slouch at is the Vi, who has the Q available, probably level 2 here. The Vault Breaker is going to get you around the map quite quickly. Both of these junglers can do a 330 clear quite easily, but we do see a 5-stack in the bot here. A first 5-stack. We'll pause momentarily to look at it very closely, but a 5-stack nonetheless.
They have a Blitzcrank. There's no better time to do this.
Yeah, staying together.
And like the mind games that have happened, they've gone straight for that bush in the bot side, and now they're gonna go straight here. Oh, there's definitely some a flash
hook.
Pinky.
Oh,
you don't even see him, Pinty, getting out of there. But the
flash is also
had to have been used.
Flash for flash.
But you do like that. Is now, did they see Pinty flash? They must assume that Pinty flashed because there's no way they sidestepped it and didn't see it. So now they know no flash in the bot lane, and so we'll see if there's anything
they did
there.
not see Pinty flash. I'm fairly confident we'll see here because Blitzcrank doesn't quite make it to the brush, so we'll not see Pinty flash. Assumes they did. Advantage to Pinky though. This is a very normal strat now. You said flavor of the month type thing, as those early hook or knock-up champions like to run Hex Flash and then flash early and have a cheeky brush play available. To go back to that jungle comment you had earlier, I think one of the big things in this matchup for the top and jungler combos is availability of CC. And CC certainly early game goes to the side of Dr. Fox and Blaine. With multiple, as we see a little bit of CC. Oh, trade it back. The Dazzle here coming out with an exhaust out of Emo Loser. Going hot and heavy as Dripper. This is not a Samir, this is not S status, but will translate a lot of damage into Emo Loser, continuing to poke on Pinky, and we're seeing even CC opportunities traded out as the range versus melee matchup starts. So if I'm Blaine, I'm probably calling for more assistance top lane quicker, and it looks like Dr. Fox is pathing bottom to top and will be able to answer outside of a cheeky level 2 gank. Will be able to answer top lane much quicker than Zangi. But wow, Blaine is playing this matchup very well.
It's just so close. It's a level 2 here for Sour Sam. It's gonna force the star back, playing respectful with that big wave. Oh, Pinky can't quite find the hook.
Yeah, rare.
They're so creative with those.
And Blaine down the level will make it up here on this wave. Does burn through Chugga Chugga on all the pots, but does have the Doron shield to try to keep them alive a little bit longer. Sour Sam says no, thank you. Picks up the kill. First blood with Ignite over to Sour Sam.
Oh, what a great just little vault in there. Ignite, knowing exactly how much damage you need. No sweat and like a ton of minions there just crashing in. Great early advantage for Sour Sam.
Exactly what you want for Sour Sam. You want to get that early advantage. You want to have the opportunity to push in waves, not have to worry about getting caught out, and you want to get to roam status as quickly as possible. And a great way to do it, using that Electrocute and the Ignite. Translate into the damage onto Blaine. We're seeing a very healthy bot lane from the side of the Oryx here. Eats a little bit of the stacks, maybe some Hexaflash tomfoolery for Pinky towards the bush, but doesn't find anything. As Vi on the top side, Wukong on the bot side. Who will get this initial gank off? Looks like Wukong.
Zangi getting it. Can Firefly find the follow-up damage? Is thinking about flashing for it. Will flash auto take down Rook and walk right out of there. Firefly and Zangy find the second kill. Closer and closer to 3.
Yeah, great combination there. Of course, there's a little bit of red buff tick going on, so that gives enough confidence over to Firefly to flash in for the autos. It was a great Warrior Trickster to sneak in there for Zangy and get a second kill on the board, netting them the gold lead early here. And really slight advantage everywhere across the board now.
Inky did just manage to get Jonathan's flash there with a great little flash, but I'll hold that as the star wants to fight. But guess who's in the fog? Zangy is here. Great flash away by Sour Sam to stay alive. They won't be able to convert this, but oh, that's just hurting. There is no teleport available for the star in the top lane.
Yeah, Blaine does stay alive there. That is the most important thing, to stay. The wave is in a decent spot where you can get the back here and not miss much experience. But when you're in that range versus melee matchup, half the time you find yourself just trying to stay close enough to keep up in levels. And Blaine should be able to do this. Otherwise, I was going to say a fantastic trade for Blaine, as the only way to win in that matchup is to keep pressing forward. And he did so, only faltering as Wukong entered the fight.
Firefly and Rook, just every time you look, just trying to eke out any little advantage. As soon as either misses an ability, the other will go and punish. Slight edge here to Firefly.
Yeah, similar champion models, similar champions. They have the same health and mana as they stare each other down in that mid lane. It's a coin flip there. But Syndra getting the early kill and early CS lead at this point does hold an advantage and will catch this wave, forcing Ahri to back here as continued slow fighting on the island of bot lane.
Yeah, that's a very uncomfortable position for Pinky and Emo. They do have their jungler in the area, though. Dr. Fox is here to counter, but Pinky can move in with a big stun. Pinky forced to go away. No pull into turret available, so they're walking forward with impunity at the moment. Wait for that timer to come back, but look who's here. Ahri joining the fight. Zangy falling low, forced to flash. Emo can't quite pick up the kill. Dr. Fox now there. Tar trying to disengage with some jewels, but Ahri now arriving, going in. Pinky gets up the first kill, but you got this Ahri in the back line. Dripper getting charm, will fall back. Taken by Ahri. Great roam there.
Kills are knotted up, 2-2 off that, and Blaine getting that back here, also having control over this top lane, as we did see the symbiotic boots picked up. Dragon, the next Ire of Affection, a little bit low as the bot side of Italian Nasus might not be able to translate this, although Vi's gonna start it momentarily. It was a great look from Zangy to push in deep for that fight, willing to Warrior Trickster into the backline, but an equally good catch from Vi, getting the roam path down and just catching a Q over the wall to interrupt the Wukong trying to limp out of there.
Fox quietly starting Dragon. Nope. I don't know about this yet. Zangy is right in the area, about to find out. Now it's just a smite fight, claimed by Zangy. And Dr. Fox wants to get some revenge, but low HP Zangy gets the flash from Dr. Fox as well. So just sort of sniffed that Dragon out to claim #1 for their team.
Yeah, and that's a little bit of an advantage too in Wukong in those smite fights. You have your Nimbus Strike, you have your Crushing Blow. Oh.
Pinty just walking in to the jungle and claiming Feat of Warfare.
Pinty landing these dazzles left and right. I like that every time they fight and Dripper's there, the dazzle is staying on Dripper for protection and for fight options. But what a crazy amount of CC for both teams. The team fights we're going to push to in the mid game are going to be absolutely crazy. Hexaflash coming over the wall here, channeling. Pinky running forward, looking for the hook, won't find it into the wave. It's going to have to sit here for a moment to pick up level 6. And
But if you're
Advantage push,
watching, like,
man.
this is how you use Hex Flash. You just constantly are making your opponents worry about that, especially if you can time it with last hits. You have to stay on your toes because at any moment, Pinky can come from the craziest of angles.
I think my only issue with Hexa is when I play it, I don't notice when my actual flash comes up. So I end up just quick flashing sometimes. But great
Zangy,
control.
having stolen the dragon, will now come up here and take these grubs.
A very healthy clear, like we said, from both junglers, and just a little bit ahead in the movement is Zangy as the bot lane continues to dump pressure onto Emo Lover. And speaking of dumping pressure, Dr. Fox going in deep, will trade back as Firefly gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 balls down and picks up the kill into Rook. Dr. Fox now forced to run away, but you can't run away from a Quinn, not even in your own jungle. Nowhere is safe. Gets 2 to go, and it's a 5-2 lead for the side of the set Oryx.
This is exactly what you want if you're the Oryx. Like, you have a lot of strong individual champions that are just love to fight around their ults. You don't necessarily need these like items to be successful right now, but they are hitting their item spikes. Like, they're very, very strong individually. You need more time to let this smolder scale. You need more time to kind of let your whole team come around and actually fight these big team fights. And right now, it's the Oryx time of the game to see how big of an advantage they can push while they have this edge.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where Pinty is putting their points here after leveling, as they push very quickly towards an armor build, which makes complete sense staring at a Smolder, an Aatrox, and a Vi. Can very quickly get onto you, but also the passive buff on the W from Pinty is going to show a little bit here, putting a little bit of extra armor onto Dripper, and a Cosmic Radiance comes through that completely saves Dripper from harm. There's that synergy we heard in our interview between games 2 and 3. Dripper and Pinty are able to survive that gank and continue pressing the lead that they have as a team.
Jungler, you hate to see it. Tarkus just gives the ability to just disengage, opt out of the fight, and then if things don't go well, you've got that Cosmic Radiance to just say no more damage is being done, and so I don't know how Dr. Fox is gonna have to find some opportunity, but maybe it's around this top lane because Blaine very strong solo killing Sour Sam. I kept thinking at any moment Quinn was gonna run out of that fight, and that did not happen. Much to Sour Sam's chagrin, I'm sure. And now it's some alone time on the top. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Dr. Fox going to go ahead and use that cease and desist onto Firefly, but mid laner not enough HP to really follow up. Dr. Fox is going to try to do as much damage as possible. But
yeah, Rook wisely staying away. That's a tough one when you're low. As long as Syndra has 1 health, they can output all of that damage. But going back to that fight with Aatrox in the top, putting through the damage, you know, Aatrox to me is this all or nothing type champion where if you land, you have to land combo after combo, and he does so as caught out as Pinty a little bit on the forward side into the jungle. Rook putting through the damage, but they turn around and get Dr. Fox on the back end. Cyclone coming through for Zangy, picking up that first kill, knocking it where Dripper could take them down. Rook forced to run into base towards the bot side. This is, right before the dragon comes up, but another kill being traded back. We see Tarek going down now. We have jungler down, support down on the other side, and limping out of here back to safety, and possibly giving up now the second dragon advantage over to the side of Besaid Oryx in overall
fast,
map.
Though Dr. Fox is back on the map and racing there. They do have some good siege, and of course Pinky has shown they really like to make an effort, at least, to still keep Zangy honest. And this time he's got a jungle to help.
Yeah, and even a miss on hitting the dragon could translate to a kill if Pinky's able to walk in there. Staying on the outside for now, going to look for the opportunity, dodging out some damage from Firefly. Fox goes in and steals one back for the team. You're not the only one who can do it, Zangy. It's on both sides now as Pinky dropping quickly. Most likely won't survive. It's Pinky versus Pinty. Which support will get the damage through, running out as Pinky will be forced to slow down momentarily, but does get out. And in that 1-for-0 dragon, found for the side of Italian Nasus. Cooks for you, evening those up 1-1.
Well, Pinky, I think, earned that steal. I'll hold that thought as it looks like Emo trying to get away. Pinky earned that steal just from game 1 and 2, saying, I'm always going to challenge you. You have to wait. You can't smite at 606. You have to smite right on time. And now when your jungler's there, it makes it real easy for them to go. And so, well earned. And of course, no, nothing taken from Dr. Fox. Still excellent steal there to notch these dragons 1-1.
Yeah, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of awareness when you jump over that wall to get the smite just right. Speaking from experience of someone who gets their buffs taken all the time from miss smites, it's still tough to do. It's still tough to take away. And I'm feeling a little bit bad, am I now, after playing some flex queue with Blaine on this Aatrox and accidentally banning it out a couple times when he's doing quite well on it in the top lane.
Yeah, no easy matchup anytime you're up against something that's ranged like Quinn. Just to be able to pull this out with kind of minimal interference here from the junglers is very impressive. Sour Sam, though, on Valor, just waiting in the river, seeing what they can find.
Yeah, Flash about to come up, Ignite available. Sour Sam looking for blood here. Has Chef Zangy, knowing the aggression from Sour Sam, starts to back off a little bit. Can't know that there's 3 lying in wait in total. Knockup coming through from Cyclone. Dr. Fox going to be dropped pretty low here. Is going to have to cease and desist in the backline. Won't be enough as we see a backflip from Sour Sam picking up that kill. And this one is on Sour Sam, baiting very nicely the duo of the Star and Dr. Fox to go in for that fight, 3v2. And they will net themselves another neutral for it.
Again, I'm surprised no roams up here from the bot lane, just kind of continuing to make it an island, and there's a great Kieran. Oh, there is no time for Cosmic Radiance to come down. Goodbye, Misfortune. And now Pinky and this Smolder have some time to just get some stacks and work on this turret.
Oh, how misfortunate it was. You're right, this is a bit of an island, kind of just waiting to see if a dazzle or a hook lands first, and it's the hook this time. All things seeming to come up for the side of Beset Oryx overall, but the bot lane of Italian Nasus flexing that strength as one hook turns the tides so quickly, and they're going to get that tower in return in the bot lane. We might see the flip here from top bottom as Dragon is not available at this point. Is this the time to flip them?
While there's still a lot of kills happening, it is a decidedly slower game than game 1 and 2, which definitely benefits this Smolder and Sage just sort of stacking it up down there.
Yeah, questions being answered now as the Essence Reaver is finished and Swifty Boots coming, so a lot of safety available. On the flip side, Misfortune has the Collector already and seems to be going a bit of a lethality build with the Dirk queued up, longsword available. Oh, wow. Dead even.
Thank you, Mr. Cannon. I thought Quinn had it. Sour Sam and Blade, they are playing on a knife's edge. Bullet time now used in the bot lane, and Vaya's here, not willing to commit the ulti quite at that moment.
Yeah, everything comes to you in the bot lane. This is room service being called up every now and again for them to get somebody down there when a dragon comes up. Meanwhile, the top laners go blow for blow and trade it evenly. I think that means we'll have pretty even pressure coming down for this dragon. If either team wants to commit their top laner, Blaine, of course, TP back up, and Sour Sam has the ability to clear the map in about -4 seconds. So a big fight could be breaking out soon. Maybe could we get a Smolder stack check at some point here before another good fight breaks out. 131 over the initial.
Yeah, that's the threshold there. So just one away from unlocking the big one as everything is bouncing around and doing a lot of damage for Smolder. The next 100 come real quick.
Yeah, pretty much one-shotting the backline now. It's almost similar to playing a Tristana, where you get that explosive charge going through, and as another hook lands from Pinky outputting exactly what you need for this Blitzcrank, but Pinty not willing to die. In fact, it's Dr. Fox getting caught up a little bit by Firefly lying in wait to get the stun. And
Very
we're looking pretty
pivotally.
even.
Yeah, no ult now available for this Taric. And so that they want to fight, a big piece is not available for the side of the Aurochs. They are trying to
Yeah.
take this dragon. They've pulled it out.
Meanwhile, push for Aatrox. Quinn's there to answer. And this dragon will go down most likely at this point. Pinky, of course, always looking to pick up something in these fights. Does eat a dazzle momentarily, but initial kill will go down to Sage. Sage picking up Firefly. That's a big damage output going down as Cyclone used in the backline. Cease and desist put on the Cyclone to say you can't hit anybody else and you're going to be forced to try to output concussive blows. Will get one down here. Chef Zangy takes one, trades for their life. It's 4 dead on the side of the Oryx for only 2 kills going back the other way. Fight
For a
continues.
final one. Quinn arriving, trying to see if there's a low HP bar, but just good patience here on the side of the Oryx. They called it, they waited, and they found it. An ace here for Italian Nasus Cooks. What a great fight, just pretty much front to back. Smolder got an excellent mom off after that initial pull started the fight. There was, I mean, everything that Zangy could do to try to slow down the Smolder damage, but it just was not enough. You focus on the Smolder, but then who got to really open up in that fight was the Ahri. Rook went off.
Yeah, and the awareness to continue to peel for your team. Dr. Fox holding the cease and desist to try to stop the Wukong from diving into the backline as they were close to dropping in that fight. Doesn't save everybody, but you know, having your team to back you up, knowing where your damage is coming from when you don't have that Aatrox with you yet. Great movement there. But this is Rift Herald now barreling down the mid lane. Zangy gonna jump into it, gonna get a lot of damage down onto this mid turret. Not enough to kill at this point, but good enough to do a drive-by Shelly here. As Firefly now up in the top lane saying, let's try a different ranged melee matchup and see what I can do with my bird. Lying in wait. Valor to you might spot out the Aatrox. Will take a bit of damage here to start the fight. No vision in the bush. The Star using it wisely. Flashes forward to get the damage through. Kill goes down. Firefly trying to fight this out. Get one to turn around here in a blitz out of nowhere. Never saw it coming. Pinky gonna chase Firefly out of here. The damage coming back through. Very little mana as Pinky. Firefly has full mana with Pinty walking up to protect. W coming through. That's going to allow a lot of armor, but armor won't help you from a cease and desist in your face. Dropping down to Dr. Fox is Firefly. Pinty on the run, nowhere to go. So much CC. Bullet time coming back to save Pinty. That's my support. Don't take them from me, but Dripper cannot do enough to save them. No neutral objective except for Otacon in the bot lane, but we see kills getting traded back again to the side of Italian Nasus. Take out multiple.
I mean, Blaine is just unwilling to do the safe thing. You had Syndra. He knew that like Quinn was coming and looking, so he backs off wisely. I'm thinking he's just gonna run all the way home. No, instead I'm gonna wait in his bush, and if you dare face check me, I will fight you to the death, even though I'm at a quarter HP. And he wins it. That turns everything on its heels, and they get a fight at 1. That doesn't necessarily win them any neutral objectives, but that feels so good if you're the Italian Nasus Cooks. Lots of gold onto the people that need gold here.
Yeah, you can see it reflected in the bounties now, too. As you know, there is a pretty sizable CS lead onto Smolder. Other than that, we're relatively close outside of the Blaine Aatrox Quinn matchup. And you're right, no neutral objective netted there, but emotional damage put forward as there's the Hexa Flash again. Pinky picks the wrong way there as Dripper sidesteps to the south side. Is going to look to trade damage back into Emo, knowing that Sour Sam is in the corner here, but so is the rest of almost both teams here. Penny walking in, looking for an extra damage. Gonna knock down the Smolder, and the Smolder is who you were looking for. But as always, Blaine applying a ton of pressure cross map. Gets the top wave shoved in, forcing the Quinn to answer back. And the 1 kill at a time isn't translating into anything, but as the game progresses, those 1 pickoff kills are gonna mean more and more.
see that Red with that win does try to get a little bit of vision control on the bot side, but Dr. Fox just standing on that ping says, nope, you are not going to get any deep vision. They also commit the teleport. Worldender coming in. You've got Blade here. Now they have a brief numbers, no disadvantage. Stripper tries to turn it around. You've got Blitzcrank, but it's just too dissynced here. All 5 members now are there for B-Set Aurochs. And single file, the Italian Nasus Cooks came, and they single file, they fell. Everyone on the Aurochs is here, and now they're going to try to claim Otacon.
That's not a Chef Zangy, that's an Express Zangy to the backline there, knocking up 3 with the Cyclone. Perfect positioning, but ready to trade back. Remember, Smolder dying in the earlier fight, comes back now, looks for the mid lane, will get the mid lane turret as this Otacon maybe falls the other way. Pinky, of course, looking for the steal here, walks in towards Pinty, Pinty on Pinky. Violence as Chef Zangy will not get hit by that knockup. They will end up taking the turret. Pinky does have to flash to get away. It's Pinky and Rook on the run. Gets away from Firefly's damage. Chef Zangy and Co are being chased out by 2, but Emo almost picking up enough damage on the Sour Sam.
Yeah, Sage was like, wait, you're hunting me? No. I'm now hunting you. Turns it around out of that bush.
You're
Does have to use
me.
Bomb, but Pinky is relentless, will not let any member of the Aurochs back, and now the whole team is here. They've got 4. They're looking to see if they can commit to a fight, and there's a flash charm forward from this Ahri, looking for more, trying to wipe them. Star opening up in the front line while Vi diving the back. They just get to take it all. Charm just missed, so they would have had 4. Zangy trying to get away, will not be able to, and it is Pinky keeping the Aurochs around.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Smolder Emo loser Sage does survive the top lane matchup to Quinn. So all in all, 3rd Dragon going over to Nasus here. Namesake not on the map, but cooking for us, the whole team, as they look to take this Dragon. There's not much pressure you can put anywhere on the map, as we've seen this Aatrox versus Quinn matchup play out. They are almost dead even in CS and very close in completed items, as Blaine goes back to spend some money here, sitting on a pot of about 1,500.
And where was Smolder on the stacks here? Just missed him.
220.
220. Knocking on the door, have it any moment, but they're trying to slow it down, having to just fly away. Flap over the edge.
Yeah, probably gonna appear in one of these solo lanes to try to finish up those stacks. And as soon as you do, the teamfight gets even more explosive. The end, not even the end, the beginning of the scaling, really. One-shotting waves becomes easier and easier for Smolder. They're dedicated mid right now. You're seeing a lot of stacks being dropped through here. Lying in the way to Sour Sam, going in with the Quinn. Going to trade back the damage, getting another stack there is Sage.
And you saw
flashing a thumbs up.
Yeah, and you saw that little white line, and it's there. The Dragon has stacks. Sage is ready to go. Team fights. Go if you are this Smolder.
Mog has ascended. And vision control from red side here are the said Oryx pushing again, that very consistent pushing with deep wards past the objectives. On the flip side, blue side going for vision directly on the objective and some of the adjoining bushes to there. Both supports pushing to 56 vision score. I think this reflects we were a little bit higher last game for Pinty, I think close to 73 or so around this 28-minute mark. But just going to show how more separated we've been a little bit for these earlier fights. Fighting away from the objective, and uncharacteristically, like the first games, we're not seeing the 4v4, 5v5 for every single objective. A lot more team fight first.
Both these teams are just built for it. The play with vision is so important, because if you can get that pick, it makes it so much easier.
Oh.
Finding one, Pop-Tart in time. Cosmic Radiance comes down, saves them. Oh no, it does not save Sour Sam in time. Pinky Soup now here. Mom comes through, a little bit of damage on a Firefly, who's forced to flash away from another rocket grab. And now the whole team is just descending. Pinty doesn't have anything left. Now they're going to the back line though with Cyclone and Bullet Time. Now they get the shutdown. Zangy onto the back line. Do you have enough damage? There's just no one there to finish off Smolder. And the Ignacarius Gigantorino Rex Lespez is too big. Smolder gets to walk away victorious.
Holy, I don't know if I've ever seen the tech of the Hexaflash backwards into your team for rocket grab, but that, I assume they were going into the blue pit.
Pinky is so creative with their use of Hexflash to find hooking angles, and that one I don't think anyone saw coming, certainly no one on the side of the Aurochs. As now they're trying to see, can they secure this Baron, or is there a steal? Firefly's close.
Offensive
went down. Okay.
We'll trade
some zoning out of Blaine there to push him off.
Send the dogs out to push him away. Losing one in the trade, but picking up the Baron. Oh, that is. You lose the Baron split push pressure of Blaine now. Won't have Baron for the side lane, but you should have enough pressure now in this ascended version of Spyro. Casually walking into the mid lane now, alongside of the pick potential of Pinky. And team fights look, despite 3 dragons going over the side of Italian Nasus, the gold lead is pretty even. We're not seeing the same bounties that we saw at this point in game 2. Dragon looking to spawn here in 40 seconds, and team staring at it, deciding who's going to get there. A lot of deep control from Oryx, and they fly right past. Maybe not even noticing Sour Sam. Where'd my health bar go?
Pinky pulling another one in. Has the teammate there. Pinty now chunked low. The rest of the team collapsing. Mom is gonna hit 4. Sour Sam forced. Oh, Emo into the pit. Sage picks it up. There's no one here. Smolder just to be on the back line. Easy double kill. Dripper now next to fall. The whole team in pursuit. It is a rout, and the Italian Nasus Cooks take an easy team fight all the way to an ace.
And Soul is here for them. It's the curse playing out in game 3 here. Can Chef Zangy and the gang find a way back into this fight? They had a lot of power with Sour Sam roaming early. Firefly, of course, able to put out the damage very quickly, and that wombo combo of Dripper and Pinty, but just not able to translate it yet into the damage, and it's getting scarier and scarier as Aatrox continues to scale alongside of a Smolder. What can they do to fight out of this hole they're in right now, Sam?
They've tried what I would suggest, which is get into like your opponent's side of the map or somewhere where it's dark and let them face check you, and that's happening. But unfortunately, it's Pinky face checking and then having like some crazy hex flash pulls to like kind of pull you out of that. And so they're getting punished actually for trying to be too far forward, which is allowing the Italian Nasus Cooks to just get beautiful full surrounds where they don't even, it just seems like they're a little desynced in these fights. They can't find the angle that just allows them to do what needs to be done. So the Aurochs, they need to figure out a way to, well, slow down this Smolder. Way too scary in fights. And picks are the way to do that. They've got to play patient, keep the vision up, and see if they can find a pick.
Yeah, it to me feels kind of reminiscent of game 1 where Dripper did get the comfort Jhin pick, but was kind of forced to curtain call on the backline a lot for fear of getting caught out by this large amount of CC and damage. And we see the similar thing with the bullet time, where if you play a little too close to the sun, Pinky's ready to hook you, Dr. Fox is ready to go to the backline. There's so much that can come at you that it really does force you to play on the back end. It puts a lot on Pinty to land the Cosmic Radiance at the correct time. They do have a lot of damage that could come out with Sour Sam and Firefly, but getting it the right fight is what's going to be key, and I think that forces them to turtle and look for their close side vision control and maybe a quick pick in their own jungle.
You said the two words I think are key. If the B-Said RX have a chance back in this, it's going to be on the back of Pinty's Cosmic Radiance. One good Cosmic Radiance can absolutely turn a fight this late into the game, and so they've got to be in a position where they can actually take advantage of that, and not be fighting on multiple fronts with a big spread out fight. And so then we're going to see can they find a fight that's going to work well for their team.
Yeah, with the shutdowns there, even an even trade in a team fight nets them almost 1.5K gold, which puts them, cuts that lead close to a third from what it is right now. So even trade would be nice, but hard pressed to find Italian Nasus spread out. In fact, they're finding Chef Zhang a little bit on the run here. The Star catching with one knockup, lands the second one. Pinky going in to get the third one, fourth one lands, and Death going down. Ema Loser going insane. Great Cosmic Radiance might save Dripper momentarily, but too many can follow over the wall. Too much damage comes through, and now you've got a beefed up team running into your base, only losing one at this point. It's a 3-for-1.
You'd say everyone could just fall over the wall. Poor Pinky was the only one unable to bring you to me. This could be game 4 or down, and it was the fight again too clean. They found the said RX as they were trying to set something up in their own jungle, and just immediately collapse and punish. The first turret goes down. They're looking for more. Dripper falls again, and it looks like in this game 3, the Italian Nasus Cooks will strike back. They will take it and win 2-1.
There it is. What a game it was. It's a constant fighting for objectives. Most of these invitationals, we see teams kind of feel each other out for a little while. That was not in the script tonight whatsoever.
Yeah, they went right at it, and oh my goodness, everyone on the Italian Nasus Cooks, what a game. I mean, really everyone on the Rift there, what a game, what a series for them. It was just so much for the ROX to try and hold, and in the end, the Italian Nasus Cooks, it was just unstoppable. They had the late game with Smolder, they had the early game and mid game dominance of Blaine, who, oh my gosh, how dare you ban Blaine's Aatrox when he's on your team? I will never make that mistake. Not after what I've seen.
It's my permaban. It's the first champion on the list. It's hard not to once that's who you're rooting against. That's all I could say. And the sad part was I told him that he could pick it, and then I immediately banned it accidentally.
Well, luckily
But
for him,
wow.
that did not happen for game 3.
No, it did not. Pulled it out in the Fearless draft too. Exactly where you want to see it.
Man, just looking at like the damage graph, you saw Smolder doing what a Smolder needs to do. So much damage, 9 kills there, finishing that Infinity Edge by the end of the game. I also got to say, Rook was huge throughout the series. Lovely play on the Ahri there. Had so many just either dash forwards or flash forwards into a charm. It was always, I felt like the fights were always watching a dive, trying to shut down this Smolder, but don't forget the opposite side of the fight where it was Rook and Dr. Fox and Blaine just harassing and taking it to the back line of the B-Set ROX.
So true. And I think the pinky hooks were incredible. We heard from the bot lane from last game. Should we bring the bot lane in again and hear from the opposite bot lane?
Sure. Yeah, bring him in.
Yeah. We'll get Soup and Sage here. Welcome to the
Hello, Soup and
caster booth.
Sage.
Hi, what's up?
Both of you open to being interviewed?
Yeah, I'm
Sure,
down.
let's do it.
All right. First off, how does it feel victorious after game 3?
I'm expecting my skin in Hall of Legends.
Yeah, Uzi, step aside. We're next.
Oh man, a tough. We got to hear a little bit from your opponents earlier, and discussing what it's like to kind of ping pong between these games. 3 games doesn't sound like a lot when you say it, but How was the energy levels moving between the games? Was fatigue setting in at all?
We were
No,
laughing the entire time.
no. I'll tell you guys 2 words. Pizza song. The day before, the night before, me and Blaine came to an agreement. We should have a soundtrack that will play out as the night goes on. The first time we did this, I can't say the name of the song just because we're on stream right now, but this song is Pizza Song. For those who don't know, this is the song that plays whenever you do pizza deliveries during the Spider-Man 2 game. That's all we listen
The
to. this
the
entire night.
PlayStation version of Spider-Man 2,
The
I believe,
PlayStation
to be exact.
version.
Oh my goodness.
So
Well,
the morale in that voice chat was great. I loved it.
I may have heard some inklings of this being played throughout the night, and I was wondering, either it causes the pop off or it is the most devastating soundtrack to hear as your Nexus explodes.
Oh, both. Both. We
But-
got to experience how that felt both ways.
So true. Looking at some of the gameplay there, and not just game 3, but throughout the night, Pinky, holy moly with the hook chance. You really channeled it with Blitzcrank. Did you have a favorite hook that you landed throughout either game 3 or the whole night?
The ones where something came to me, whether it was a minion or a champion.
And what of this Hexaflash tech? At one point near the blue enemy blue at the end of the game, you Hexaflash backwards towards your team, then landed the rocket grab. Is that a usual tech for you, or is that the soup special?
If it's not the soup special, I'm gonna coin that right now. Put a TM on it.
It's the soup of the day, I think is what they call it.
Yeah, soup of the day, cupper bowl.
Wow. Well, you two played fantastic. Both teams were amazing to see out there. Do you have any final words for the stream or for anybody who hasn't joined CMSA yet? Can you tell us a little about your experience here?
Please do. It's a lot of fun. Wink, wink, hinch, hinch.
Yeah, everybody's really friendly, and I always have a good time.
Vibes
It
are
was
great.
so much fun having you guys
Yes,
and
thank you,
everybody
guys.
joining us.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank you
having us.
too. I'll let you
Mhm.
go and celebrate with your team.
Woo.
And if you're listening and you haven't signed up, please do, because you get to be a part of this league, this community, which is so great. And we couldn't do things like these nights without the players showing up, without the league managers. What a great night, Gunny.
So fantastic. Another decisive game 3. And if this wasn't enough for you, we're back at it again next week, right, Sam?
That's right. Please come back and tune in for Topaz. We would love to see you there. And they got big shoes to fill. Game 3s. Keep it coming.
Yeah. Super excited for that. Well, for everybody else on the CMSA team, it was fantastic. I think we're getting a little outro playing here from our cameraman. Thank you, Kelton, and everybody
Yes.
behind the scenes. Any last thoughts from you, Sam, before we go?
No, it was a great night. As always, guys, be kind to yourself. See you on the